You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Happy, what is today even, Wednesday? Happy hump day, Hamby. Welcome to the Brent and Austen Show. Brent will probably not be joining us today. I think he's learning how Airbnbs work. Or was he staying in a hotel or Airbnb?
Cabin, I think.
Cabin. Okay, cabin. Checkout time was 10 a.m. Didn't take that into consideration. On the road right now, in the middle of the sticks. Needless to say, he will probably not be joining us, so me and Hamby pushing all the right buttons will be taking over. Just realized my shirt's inside out. We'll take care of that after the break. Been kind of a busy morning, but Hamby, we move.
We move.
We're going to get this done. Now, do we have an interview later today that I had no idea about? Absolutely. Did I do any homework for it? Absolutely not. Why? Because I was watching the Edmonton Oilers take on the Tampa Bay Leafs, Tampa Bay Lightning last night in NHL hockey, and just lost track of time. But it's all good, man. We're going to get this thing done. Is there a field trip taking part right now in our building, Hamby?
No, sir.
Are you sure? Because I pull up, and I don't really have a spot around here, so always park in the visitor parking because when you're a freelancer, you get away with it. Couldn't park in the visitor parking because every one of the spots is taken. Literally every single parking spot in the morning, which I've never really seen before, is taken. And I don't know, there's probably 25 kids just chilling in the parking lot. So I'll ask you again. We got a field trip or something going on today?
Maybe,
man.
Maybe.
So, Hamby, you going to Providence.
Mm-hmm.
Your field trips, like you guys went to the White House, NASA, Mars. Where'd you guys go to?
We went to the Tallahassee Capitol.
I mean, that's still pretty cool. That's a drive.
That was
you know what I'm saying? That's a couple-hour drive now.
Yeah, that was the biggest one.
Okay.
We went to the zoo.
Like the Jacksonville Zoo?
Yep. We went to the Alhambra.
Alhambra Theater?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see a show or you just get like a little behind-the-scenes tour? What'd you see?
Ooh, that's tough. I have no idea.
Dude, it's so Wisconsin how I think I went to every single cheese factory as a child that was in like probably a 100-mile radius. Like that's what our school field trips were, cheese factories. Which it's cool because after the tour, you get like free cheese, so cool. But also like, hey, be a little more Wisconsin though. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But yeah, went to a couple brewery games. That was cool. We used to do this thing every year, literally every single year. Like, you wanted to tell that our school is just milking it, like phoning it in and not really caring. We used to do this boat tour called the Chief Wapaka. So Wapaka is like it's a town that's probably 8 miles away. It's like a 10-minute drive. And they had like I don't know how to explain it. You've seen The Office, yeah?
I didn't watch. I know, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's an episode where they go on like a team bonding thing on a boat. That's essentially like what it was. It was called the Chief Wapaka, and it was just like a boat, and then you have to sit on it for like 3 hours while they give you a tour. We did it literally from like my first grade year up until my middle school, like in 7th, 8th grade, every single year. And I hate to tell you, there's nothing more boring than being on the water and having to listen to, in the 1800s, the Native Americans settled here and they had this lake. I mean, who cares, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't leave. I can't walk. I can't do anything. Like, all they have is soda pop, and I had some of those, but that's about it. Like, one of the worst field trips ever. But once again, I feel like our school is just kind of
phoning it in
a little bit. We got Hamby's burner coming in saying medieval times was the best field. Dude, medieval times is still the best thing ever, even if you're an adult.
I don't even know what y'all are talking about.
Medieval times, Hamby? Excuse me? So medieval times, basically, you pull up, right? And it's like it's like a giant arena kind of thing. And then each section has like their own knight that they cheer for. So it's like knight battles. And then you get like a big chicken leg. So it's kind of like you're back in like the night times. You're back in the medieval times, Hamby.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a really good time, and look at me trying to cut a promo for Medieval Times, but no, it's really fun, man, because like you each get like your own side to cheer for. So I remember,
I see, yeah.
yeah, because I was in band and everything, so we actually had a marching band competition in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That might have been one of the best field trips because hey, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in high school, let's go. But we went to Medieval Times, and yeah, man. A real fun time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
Our school red knight took home the dub. See, so we had the black and white knight, and like you think he had all the pageantry, he had all the ambiance. I'm like, oh, there's no way this dude's gonna lose. See, he had like the giant sword, and he went against the green knight, who's a spoiler alert, Hamby, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but the green knight's usually the bad one, right? And yeah, the bad knight ended up taking our black and white knight out. Unfortunately, you hate to see it. I was in shock. I thought for sure like Vegas had him at minus 800. The green knight had like one of those balls on a chain. Don't know what it's called. Didn't grow up then. Don't care. But it's like the spiky balls on the chain. Yeah, man. Cheap shot at our knight. Guy went down. I'm like, well, this sucks, but it was still fun nonetheless. Anyways, man.
I might go.
Are they around like Florida? I mean, I don't know.
They have one in Orlando, I think.
Well, let's go, Hamby. Little field trip.
Yeah,
little Brent and Austen show from Medieval Times.
I'm in.
Let's go, man. Let's go. And like they're also
It wouldn't be the weirdest place we've done a show, I feel like.
no, for sure. And also the cool thing about that, it's like theater too. So like there's like acting, like they, after they fight, they kind of give like their monologues and everything. And like I'm fighting for so and so, and I'm using my courage. And bro, like you get emotionally invested while you're grubbing on a giant chicken wing and eating, drinking some Pepsi, which wasn't invented in the medieval times, but it's all good. They're not going to give you like mead.
This is just like the 1500s of WWE.
Pretty much, man. Yeah, but a really good time. I highly recommend it. Hey, Medieval Times, cut the check. All right, let's get on some football, Ham. Let's get on some Jaguars.
Yep.
So since Brent was gone, shout out to Jason Hamby for kind of taking the show by the horns here and kind of directing us where we need to be, because once again, I was watching hockey last night. I was absolutely zero help. But the first thing you had on the rundown was a Trevor Lawrence comment or a tweet or an Instagram post, right?
Yeah. It's just it's not like he didn't say anything in particularly out. It was very on par for who he is and what he does. It's just he's pretty quiet on social media for the most part. So anytime,
for sure,
this is kind of the first time he's addressing, I would say, since being put on IR. But as you can see here, starts with a very popular Bible verse and then says, I'm going to miss being out there with my brothers the rest of the way. This isn't at all what I pictured this year looking like. I've been leaning heavy on this verse lately. I don't know why things happen sometimes, but I do believe how you respond is more important than what happens. I'm so blessed to be able to do what I do, and I'm not going to let some adversity muddy a little too small for me there.
Muddy the vision.
There you go. Better days are ahead. Hashtag DTWD.
Nice, man. And then the verse for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I like it, man. Yeah, I mean, I think you really hit the point at, home here. And this is one of the beautiful things about the game of football and really any sport, maybe except golf, is that it teaches you a lot of life lessons. And I think when we talk about, football and what people can incur in their daily lives, like, yeah, it is a lot of adversity. Like, life's good, man. Life's fantastic when you're on top, when you're winning, when you're healthy. You have nothing to complain about, right? Then all of a sudden you have a little adversity. All of a sudden, you get cheap shotted by a guy from the Houston Texans, you get knocked out a little bit, and all of a sudden everything can change. And it is about how you respond to it. I think that's all life is. Like, whether you believe in karma or not, whether you believe in a higher power or not, like, this is a fact of life. Good things happen to you and bad things happen to you. That's just the way that life is. But it is how you respond to them. So shout out to Trevor Lawrence for, the cool post. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I will say this, as someone who's been on IR and as someone who, tore their Liz Frank and refused to go back on IR for the second year, it's it's one of the most deflating, depressing things that an athlete can go through. And I get from the casual audience thinking like, okay, well, he's on IR. He's still making, what, 3/4 of his money? Like, he's still making, it is what it is. But what people fail to realize is, like, you don't consider yourself part of the team anymore. And you almost feel guilty sometimes for making a paycheck. At least I did. You know, I had to have shoulder surgery. So I think it was week 5 or week 6. So I was up for the rest of the season. And then all of a sudden, you know, you go from being on schedule, you go from be here at a certain time, you know, get your workout in at a certain time, meetings at a certain time. You go from that to you just got to be here for rehab, and that's about it, and then you go home. So you go from just everything being so structured to now, I guess I'll show up here, and then that's about it. And like I said, you don't really feel like you're part of the team because, you know, you don't sit through the meetings. You're not at practice anymore. So you're almost just like this dude on the shelf who's collecting a check, and you're just kind of in limbo, if you will. So, but best of luck to Trevor. Is he having surgery soon, right? He's having surgery.
They haven't announced whether he is. You would assume so. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, go ahead and have, like, even, once again, I'm not a doctor, and I don't know, like, exactly the extent of Trevor Lawrence's injury, but from what we've been hearing, I think from Doug Peterson, even, it's like, yeah, he might have to have surgery. I mean, if you're on the might bus, and it's your non-throwing shoulder, then yeah, go ahead and get it done, man, and go ahead and get cleaned up. One point on the on the post, it seems like every time that Trevor posts, really anything kind of retrospective like this, which are a large majority of his posts, like after a season or something like that, every time he posts, it makes me think that he badly wants to be a Jaguar for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I mean,
wants to be not only that, but wants to be in Jacksonville for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
you get the same vibe? It's not nothing that he says. You know, it's not in there, right? Him saying that is not in there, but it's just the vibe that I get every time that he posts. Is like, man, this guy like genuinely loves the city.
Yeah,
loves his team, loves the Jaguars, and I could see him like, even beyond his career, always being in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how it all worked out, right? Because Trevor Lawrence wasn't even on the radar here, you know, when he was in college, because we thought, okay, like our team was going to be better than what they were. And then thanks to the New York Jets and everything, you luck out and you're able to draft Trevor Lawrence. And, you know, grew up in a smaller town in Georgia. You know, I think it's the weather, the city, like it does fit him. I agree with you, Hamby. And if we're calling a spade here, if anybody's had the right to speak out against a team or an organization these past couple of years, it might be Trevor Lawrence. I mean, think about it. You draft him. All right, we're all excited. What do? You give him Urban Meyer. Well, how'd that go? A nightmare. Couldn't have went any worse. You want to talk about, you know, not being able to grow as a quarterback, and really probably, you know, you're probably stumped a little bit in terms of your development just because you're dealing with such a drama show that was Urban Meyer. So you lose your first year. And by the way, through that time, did he really have a number one receiver?
No.
With all due respect to Marvin Jones, but did he?
Yeah.
Nah. No. Right? And then what happens? Okay, well then, you know, you bring in Doug Peterson. That's going to be the match made in heaven, right? Look what we did with Nick Foles. Look what we did with Carson Wentz. How could it not work? Well, it worked for a little bit, and it was good till it wasn't. And now it really couldn't be any worse. And once again, like you gave him the weapon now. You got him, Brian Thomas Jr. All right, kudos to you for doing that. That's going to be a relationship that's probably going to blossom for years and years to come. You'll love to see it. But once again, whether it was who's calling the plays, whether it was some of the questionable play calling in the red zone, like you saw the frustration on Trevor's face.
Right.
You've seen it. And the only clue, the only inkling that we've seen from the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars saying, like, man, what are we doing here, was he said the coaching's got to be better. He said the players got to play better and the coaches got to coach better. That's literally the only soundbite that I have to go off of in Trevor's tenure here, which I think speaks a lot. And by the way, he wasn't wrong.
No.
Like he wasn't lying. He wasn't breaking any news, trying to cause any controversy. Yeah, the coaches had to play better. And guess what? Yeah, the players had to play better as well. So, Hamby, to answer your question, and I get the quarterbacks, the double standard, You got to carry yourself a certain way, right? You got to say things a certain way. Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be here for a long time. Now, the question that we have to answer is, what do you take away from this season of Trevor Lawrence? Like, what's the story going to be? What's the, I don't want to say like the grade or anything, but like from the games you watched this season, what have you seen from him? Like, how do you feel about going into next year about Trevor Lawrence? I guess is the real question.
Most of what will determine my opinion, honestly, even goes back to 2023.
Okay.
How I go into the 2025 season will depend a lot more on my opinion of how he looks in 2023 than in 24. This year's, in my opinion, has been a lost year for him. I know we had, how many, 8 games with him?
I think you had 10 games, right?
I mean, 8 healthy games.
Oh, 8 healthy games. Right? Yeah, well, yeah, so he ended up starting 10 games this season.
And I get it, that it was a non-throwing shoulder, so, but still,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking at the first 8.
Sure.
And, man, I mean, as we've said, there was a stretch of 4 games there where it was great football.
It was
great football. But at the same time, it wasn't great football that was winning games.
So,
right?
yeah.
So, a lot of it also will depend on who's his coaching staff, right, next year. I don't think it's a stretch by any stretch of the imagination for me to say that I would have a lack of confidence in an uptick from him in a career year per se with him, with Doug Peterson and Press Taylor at the helm.
Yeah.
I think we've all seen that.
Or even Trent Baalke that you can question too a little bit. Well, because Gabe Davis, I get it. I was excited, man. I thought it was going to be an upgraded version of Zay Jones, and he hasn't been that.
Yeah.
And he hasn't helped out Trevor really at all.
I agree. But at the same time, like, as far as on the field go, I think we've seen a regression in a sense at times, at least from where we thought he would be.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, anybody, and it's wild because you almost have to, like, walk on eggshells when you talk about Trevor Lawrence around this Jaguars fan base.
Yeah.
Because, like, any talk of he underachieved, any talk of, is he the guy or not? Like, people will be so quick to, to counter you and say, what do you want? All this stuff. And I get it. And I've spoke on this before. People invested so much emotionally into getting Trevor Lawrence that, like, you set yourselves up so much where you have to see it through and he has to be good. Because if he's not good and if he's not going to lead the Jaguars to a Super Bowl one day, it's almost like you're going to go back as a fan and say, well, what the hell was I cheering for when the Jets beat the Rams? Mm-hmm. What the hell was I cheering for when I said, oh, yeah, like, this is the one that's going to change everything around here in Jacksonville. This is the prince that was promised, and, everything's going to change. Like, people became so emotionally invested before he even took a snap on the field. So people like to hear the fact of, okay, well, has he underachieved a little bit? Mm-hmm. Is there room for growth? Because, well, people, thought he was going to be the guy right away.
But both of those answers were yes.
No, for sure. But how many other NFL teams right now, Hamby, can say that their franchise quarterback going into, well, it's going to be his 5th year.
Yeah.
Is he the guy or not? Because, I mean, like, yeah, we know he's the guy. You paid him like he's the guy, and I understand that. And you're not going to go anywhere else. So, yes, Trevor Lawrence is the guy. But, like, it's crazy to say, well, let's see what he can do in his 5th year. Like, let's see what he's really got.
Yeah.
It's his 5th season coming up, Hamby.
Yeah.
What do you mean, let's see what he can do? But once again, this is a testament to the situation that you put him in with Urban Meyer, with Doug Peterson. Like, has there ever been another situation, Hamby, and I'm sure there has, but I just can't think of one, where you got your franchise guy going into his 5th year and you're asking him the question, all right, well, let's see what he can do finally. Let's see what he's got.
I can't think of one either where you really don't know.
Either you don't.
Like, floor, right?
Sure.
Know his floor. He's going to be the 16th best quarterback in the NFL. That's his floor.
Yeah, that's the floor.
Right,
yeah,
but you don't know where the ceiling is.
No, we
don't
don't
know whether it's because sometimes he plays like a top 7 quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could say that he's ever played like a top 4 or 5 quarterback for multiple games. I'm not interested in reaching for a game or 2. I'm saying over at least a stretch of games, he's never played like a top 3, top 4 quarterback.
Yeah.
That's so we really don't know how good he is. We know he's good. We don't know if he's great, and we don't know if he can be elite.
Yeah.
We've seen it in spurts, right? And Delphonic earlier, he said he blames the coaches for his regression. I think I tend to agree.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this all goes hand in hand here. But I guess the frustrating part for me, and this is where me and Brent Martineau disagree, I think there is a vast difference between Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. I do. Just the way that it looks. You can take the stats, whatever, but just you don't think so either.
No.
You think Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence are comparable?
Yes.
I disagree. I truly disagree because I think Justin Herbert has shown no matter who he's throwing the ball to. Yeah, now it helped when you were a rookie and you had Keenan Allen and you had Austin Eckler and you had Mike Williams and you had Hunter Henry. Like, yeah, you put Trevor Lawrence in that situation, he's going to flourish as well. But keep in mind how many coordinators Justin Herbert's been through. I want to say he's on his 3rd one as well.
And 3rd head coach. Yeah.
And now he's got no excuse in terms of, oh, well, he still has all his great receivers. Go ahead and name me one. Quentin Johnston, who was at the wrath of a lot of fantasy owners a couple weeks ago because he couldn't catch a football. Your boy Ladd McConkey, who has shown some stuff, but is still a rookie. So let's see what he's got. And like maybe you want to tell me the playoff wins, and that's fine. But man, I turn on the TV, I watch Joe Burrow, I watch Justin Herbert, and to me, and once again, this is just to me, it looks different right now than it does for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, look, I think this is last year I would have definitely made this argument that they're very, very, very comparable. I think Herbert has proved this year that he's taken a step up.
Correct.
Right? So, and Trevor didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But up until that point, for the first 3 years of Trevor, I'm 100% arguing that he's very comparable to Justin Herbert, right? But just this, as you said yesterday, this season is an anomaly. You want to just scratch it and bundle, crumple it up and throw it in the garbage and forget that it existed, right? So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're having this conversation right back again and they're very comparable next year.
I mean, listen, I hope that's the case, right? I really hope that's the case and everything. But man, I just feel like I need to see more from Trevor before I can put him on Justin Herbert. Like Hamby, the guy has thrown 1 interception this season. Unless that changed since I don't think it's changed. Right? He still has 1 interception this season.
I think he's still got 1.
Okay, do you know how crazy that is?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This year he's really proved it. Up until this year.
Yeah.
And guess what? What did it? It wasn't better receivers.
Well, no, it was the coach.
It was the coach.
Yeah, it's the coach. Absolutely. And this goes hand in hand. And I get it. Trevor hasn't had. Listen, you can say a lot of things about what Trevor's been through. I think the biggest thing that's been a detriment to him is that no one's really seemed to have his back in terms of like the coaching organization. Like whether it was Urban Meyer. Like, yeah, I get Doug's been a little more complimentary now.
Also, we just gave him $275 million before his contract was up.
Sure.
Isn't that having his back?
I mean, that's having his back, but like, see, maybe that's kind of the detriment though too, Hamby. Is that you paid him all this money, and with that money comes expectation.
I mean,
and maybe that expectation wasn't reached this year. So then if you're Doug Peterson, who's played the position, who's seen a lot of great quarterback play,
right,
and you watch your starting quarterback making what, $275 million lose the contract?
Yeah. And
he's not, living up to set expectations of that money, maybe from a coach it's a little frustrating then.
I wouldn't blame that at all. I think 100% that there's a big point there, right? Doug is watching the missed deep balls in the Houston Texans game in Week 4 that we lose by 4 points, and he's like, we drew it up, the guys were open, he had time, he missed the throw, and we lose by 4, right? I think, Doug has every right to be frustrated in that point at that level in that game, but at the end of the day, if we zoom out, total season, we're a 3-10 football team, and stuff's not clicking.
Yeah.
And in your 3rd year together, Trevor, Press, and Doug, there's zero reason for that to be the case. You have playmakers, you have guys in the backfield, You have at least an okay offensive line, right?
Yep.
It's that we can't point to that near as much as we could even earlier in Trevor's career. We could have pointed to it then. We can't this year, really.
Yeah.
He's staying off the ground for the most part. So,
listen, and I'm seeing a lot of the comments here. Doug Peterson is washed. Play calling is lackluster at best. Defense has regressed. This isn't on Trevor. That's from Cold Day TV. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Cold Day TV also a minute ago said if you put Trevor Lawrence on the Chargers, they win a Super Bowl. No, they don't.
I mean,
Austin,
I think they do better than. Yeah, no. Listen, that's hard to say for sure because this is the biggest question right now. Does Trevor Lawrence have the capabilities, the talent, and the confidence to elevate regardless of who's playing with him?
Mm-hmm.
Now, drop balls are a thing, so that doesn't help. But I'm not sure if I can say, Hamby, if you put Trevor Lawrence on the Patriots, do they win?
Probably not.
I don't think so. If you put Trevor Lawrence on the Saints right now,
without Olave and
without Olave and everybody. Jeez. I mean, you have Scantling, and I forgot who else. Juwan Johnson.
Their tight ends.
Taysom Hill's out, so you're not running the Wildcat.
Right.
Do they win?
No.
See, I don't think so either. So when we answer the question like that, Hamby, then we got to go, okay, well, then there's still obviously a lot of room for growth because I think there's a couple quarterbacks that you put on any single team, I think they're going to flourish. I think Patrick Mahomes is one of those guys, even though he's obviously regressed a little bit this season, but I'm still rolling with Mahomes.
Josh Allen obviously is
obviously you put Josh Allen with any type of receiver. Mac Hollins doesn't wear shoes, all good. Keaton Coleman, 6'4", rookie, all good. Curtis Samuel, kind of forgot about him a little bit when he was in Washington, all good. We'll make sure it works. Khalil Shakir, didn't know where you even came from, man, but you're pretty fast, all good. We'll get you the football. Dalton Kincaid, thought you were going to be the real deal this year. Not so much. Sorry I took you in fantasy, but yeah, we'll get you the football. Dawson Knox, they're not really household names, Hamby, but you have the quarterback that's going to make them household names possibly one day.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. I think Lamar Jackson can fit into this a little bit, but obviously he has a different skill set, right? Being able to, so does Josh Allen, but being able to run the football a little more.
And even him, I would argue, we don't probably go through all the quarterbacks here, but he needs a little bit of help, I'd say. And when he's been really stretched thin at receiver, especially down the stretch in the playoffs, he's struggled.
Okay, so then let's make this argument. How many quarterbacks in the NFL can you actually put on any team and they're going to elevate their players? Because I want to see how many is this at, because Patrick Mahomes. Yes. Do you think Joe Burrow?
Well, I would say yes, but we've never even had the opportunity to ask that because he's always had weapons.
He's always had weapons, but sometimes those weapons have been hurt, right?
Yeah.
T. Higgins has been hurt before. Chase has been hurt. He's had success. So, yeah, I'm saying yes. Lamar Jackson. I think so, Hamby, just because of the skill set.
Other guys, but I think he's elevating some, of course.
Yeah, I think what makes Lamar Jackson good at this is the fact that he's always a threat to run.
Sure.
So defense has got to always take that into account.
We can put him in there.
Put him in there. Jalen Hurts, I don't think so.
No.
Josh Allen, absolutely.
Yeah, so we got 4.
Dak Prescott?
No.
Justin Herbert?
He's proved it.
He's proved it. So that's 5?
I think that's it.
I'm not going to say Tua. I'm not going to say Stroud.
No.
I'm not going to say Purdy.
No.
Do you say Geno Smith?
No, and I'm not saying Goff either.
Yeah. It's hard to say with Goff, right? Sam Darnold? No. So that's it. So what we said, 5 or 6? 5.
So it's elite company if you were to
that's
get there,
that's what makes you elite.
Yeah.
Right? We always talk about, is he elite? Is he not? To me, the definition of elite is, can you put a guy on any single team and he immediately elevates that said team, regardless of who the receivers are, regardless what the play calling is, he elevates it. And yeah, I think we have 5 guys in this league that can actually do that. Everybody else, someone said Matthew Stafford. But once again, when you're throwing a Kelvin Johnson, you're throwing a Puka, you're throwing to Cooper Kupp. I mean, he won a Super Bowl, but
he's close. But he's always had guys.
Get Daniel Jones out of my comments before we block you, Mr. Beacon Boulevard. Yeah, so long story short, 5. So then, and we should probably take a break here coming up, but I think this kind of leads into the next question then. Do the Jaguars have enough right now going into next year? And I get it. We still got we got the New York
Jets coming to town. We got the retro jerseys coming back, the vintage jerseys. But yeah, draft talk. All right, we're doing it. Brent's not here. I don't care. I'm driving this ship. A little draft talk. Hamby, do you like what they have right now as an offense in the run game from the receivers where you're confident that Trevor Lawrence can maybe become elite next year, or do they need more? Let's answer that question next year on the Brent and Austen Show.
And shout out to Paul Posluszny, just inducted to the College Football Hall of Fame.
I mean, you got to go ahead and induct Puz into like just the All-American Human Hall of Fame, man. Like,
also, is that Julius Peppers right next to him?
It looks like it. Hey, but by the way, has Paul Posluszny missed one workout day since he's been retired?
Unbelievable.
Dude can still play right now. Hey, with all due respect to Lloyd, who's playing better, I guess, you better watch your spot. Because if Paul Posluszny feels like coming back, he'll come back and take that spot real quick, man. Still looking good. Has that All-American jawline, Hamby. Just a solid-looking dude. Do we know, is he still doing the pilot thing or not? He was trying to be a pilot for a while.
I have no idea.
I'll text him, man. I haven't talked to that fool in forever, man. But shout out to Paul Posluszny, College Football Hall of Fame, because, of course, he should be in every single Hall of Fame.
Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the Vault. The Vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the Shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the Vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Right now, save 10% off a new Rinnai tankless water heater. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Just remembered, didn't turn my shirt inside or around, so segment number 2 with my shirt being inside out, Hamby, but it's all good. I mean, I could probably do it right now on the live stream, but I feel like if we do that, we should probably charge OnlyFans money, right?
Oh, boy.
I'm not just going to show some skin for free.
No.
Yeah. You want to do that, then go watch me fight or something like that. But by the way, looking in retrospect now, I am kind of exposed out there on the internet a little bit. Like, my friend brought this to my attention. If you Google me, I would say 90% of the pictures come back with my shirt off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Googled you yesterday so I could throw up a picture while you were getting your hair. Yeah.
Yep.
All of them.
Yeah. All of them.
Pretty much.
For sure. I mean, hey, enjoy the show, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Is there like...
Wait a minute.
What do you got?
Hold on.
Clothes?
Hold on. What were you going to say?
Like, is there a way to, like, try to delete... Like, can you go to the internet? Because remember, like, Beyonce had some, like, unflattering pictures of her at a concert, and then all of a sudden they're all, like, washed off the internet? Like, how do you go about that? Or do you have to be, like, you know...
Probably have to be...
In the club.
That guy.
In the club.
Or that girl.
I'm not in the club, if you know what I'm saying, Hamby. You know?
Yes.
Rhymes with... Illuminati. And that's all I'm going to talk about that. Okay. Hamby, we had a question that I want to address that we went into the break with. Well, by the way, welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show. Brent on the road. You think he's in Ohio, Tennessee? Where's he at now?
Probably Georgia.
Georgia?
I would assume.
Okay. Maybe going to stop by Trevor Lawrence's hometown?
Cartersville?
Do you know who else shares the home of Cartersville, by the way, Hamby?
Who's that?
Newman from Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know the guy's real name. Sorry. I wish I did. He's also in Jurassic Park. Was also in that movie with Sharon Stone.
All right, hold on.
Can't remember
pause.
the name. Pause it.
Look up Austen Lane on Google, and you find this. I made Austen Lane in CAF, and it's so bad.
What is CAF?
Something, is that a fighting game? Buddy, that's you.
What do you mean that's me? First of all, what is this on? Like what's the website? It's just from
Reddit.
Some Instagram? It's on Reddit? Oh, so it's like the creative player from like the UFC game. I assume, right? I haven't played it, so I have no idea.
CAF Ghost Squadron is a video game that allows players to virtually fly aircraft during World War II.
Yeah, that's definitely not it, huh?
Oh, no, it is UCF 5, the CAF. Yeah. This is you, pal.
Yeah, but this isn't the... Like, I'm not in the video game. Somebody created me?
Yeah, this is...
Thank God, because I mean, hey, UFC. Because, you know, like, I had to stand... I'm pretty sure I'm not in the video game yet. So I had to, like... When was this? This was for my third fight. I had to, like, wear, like, all these, like, little, like, gadgets on my shirt, like in my face and stuff, and then they had to take pictures. So I assume that was for the video game, even though I'm not in it yet. But hey, I get a couple more wins, and then hopefully I'll be in it. Yeah, Hamby, that looks nothing like me.
I don't know.
I mean, okay, the beard, sure.
I'm just messing with
I mean, I'm sorry. Did I go on a 2-year bender and not train at all? Dad bod to the fullest. I guess is he rocking a Jaguars tattoo?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, like I'm not mad at that. Not quite what I have. It's more of a foo dog, but so be it. I mean, rocking a little bit of the tribal. Yeah, but mine's like Norwegian vines, not like The Rock is rocking there. I mean, listen, I'm not going to hate on it because someone obviously spent their day creating me, so I guess thank you, but also looks nothing like me. And I feel like he doesn't have dreads either. I think he's just got like a close shave on top of his head. Huh.
That's beautiful.
That's something. That's almost as bad as when I get drafted, I go to the Jaguars. You know what that means, Hamby? I'm going to be in Madden, right? Yep. Now, take the Madden ratings out of it. Strength was like a 70. Give me a break. I think I had like good aggressiveness, which, spoiler alert, you come to any practice, I'm fighting somebody. So I guess we had a Madden adjuster there. Saw me fight Montel Owens when we're just going through a walkthrough. So it's like, oh yeah, there's this rookie Austen Lane, number 92. Let's go ahead and knock that aggression up to like 87. Cool. But before, because you know how Madden works, right? Like there's updates all the time. Yeah, so they update like the players, they update, features. I was a redhead. I was a ginger for like the first part of my Madden career, which
what?
Oh yeah, I had red hair, and I mean I'm tannish. No, I was white. I was milk of magnesia white. I was Casper white, and it made zero sense, and it broke my heart when I got mad. I go, hey, I get to play as myself. This is gonna be cool. Not really cool when you have red hair. Not really cool when the dreads aren't being showcased and not one tattoo is being shown. Not really cool at all, Emmy. But, they patched it. They got it better, and then thankfully it looked a little more like me.
Man, this is incredible stuff.
Break your heart, won't it?
Unreal.
Are you still Googling my pictures? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm actually tweeting it out right now.
Oh, you're tweeting this out for the show?
Yep.
Okay. That's fine. I don't care.
Anyways.
But what we had a little bit of a tease I want to get back to real quick. Talk about... We're not shocking your mock quite yet.
I mean...
It's a little appetizer.
Again, make check. Shock your mock, we rock. No need to double deck. Jaguars on the prowl. Draft time, pick a gem.
This is our best one, huh? I thought the country version was pretty...
This is my go-to.
I kind of like the country version we had.
Fans tuned in for another season. It's Shock Your Mock, next in line.
All right, anyways.
I'm still trying to justify if I wasted $5 on that or not.
No. Whatever. If you would have spent $500, I'd said you got your money.
Oh, Hamby, what? 500? Unless I had Brent Martineau's Amex. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. But Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Making progression. Trying to make him elite. I know from the offensive line that's its own separate entity, and we'll talk about that later for Shock Your Mock when we start getting into the mock draft talk. But just for a little appetizer to wet our whistles, does he have enough right now from the skill position to be competent? Or do you want to see him address receiver, whether it's in free agency or the draft?
Look, I mean, trust me, I've seen everything on Twitter talking about, hey, we should go get T-Mac. He's the unbelievable receiver at Arizona. Don't ask me to say his first name, but it's Teta something McMillan.
Oh, that's going to be a nightmare for me to say as well.
Tetairoa.
If they draft him, I'm going to botch that for the first
It's T-Mac.
4 months.
Good.
T-Mac, I like that a lot.
Yep. Mm-hmm. 6'5", 215. Dangerous in space as anybody I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Not even going to... If this was an actual possibility, then we can get into the defenses that he's facing and everything.
Yeah.
But he's an unbelievable player. It doesn't watch him.
Okay.
It doesn't take much. I don't.
Well, care. I mean, hey, there's a reason why Arizona State's good. I'm sure he has something to do with it.
Arizona. He's Arizona.
I'm sorry. He's Arizona or Arizona State?
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Okay.
Yeah. He's literally 50% of their
He was their
offense.
team then.
He was their team.
T-Law and T-Mac, Mr. Pico. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue nicely.
So everybody I've seen on Jags Twitter is like, oh my gosh, pair him with BTJ, and like that's Jamar Chase and T Higgins with Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Right, who the Bengals don't have somebody like that. Now they have decent tight ends.
Oh, they got Mike Gesicki doing the worst gritty known to man.
That's true.
I'm a fan of that.
But it's like, oh yeah, and then throw Christian Kirk still back in the slot when he's healthy.
Yeah.
And then, you'd be unstoppable is kind of the thought. And look, I get it. Would it be insanely fun to watch? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We got bigger needs, guys.
Yeah.
We got bigger needs. We got to address the interior D-line, and we got to address the O-line at some point. Right? Because I know you just signed Walker Little, and if you would have asked me right before that signing who the Jags should take, I would have just told you best left tackle available.
Sure.
Right? Because it's just the uncertainty.
That's what you needed. Yep. It's kind of a guaranteed thing, right?
Right. But now that we re-signed Walker Little, you're not going to draft left tackle in the first round.
Can't do it. Can't justify it.
Or in the second. Right? Because you got Anton on the other side.
Correct.
And Mr. Pico Boulevard says right here, need to address that O-line, but where? Right? Because the only guy that's not going to be back next year is Sheriff. You're not drafting a right guard in the first round. Right, Tyler Booker from Alabama.
To be fair, unless you trade back.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to draft a guard in the top, 5, or where they're going to be picking.
It's very rare that a guard, period, gets taken
Quentin
in the
Nelson,
top 15,
yeah.
20. And even when that happens, it's a guy who's played left tackle a lot that people think is an unbelievable prospect and want to try to flip him inside.
Sure.
At least from when I've been dialed in on drafts, that seemed like that's the history on that drafts kind of position.
Cold Day TV saying Travis Hunter helps us defense and gives Trevor another weapon. Listen, I think he can be a lockdown corner. But hey, Hamby, go ahead and I'm going to call you real quick, and you're going to act like you're Travis Hunter. I'll be the Jaguars organization. Whether it's Trent Baalke or somebody else, ring.
What's up?
Mr. Hunter, Austen Lane here, Jacksonville Jaguars. How you doing today, son?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, I have some great news for you. So we're on the clock right now, pick number 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you feeling about Jacksonville?
You sure you don't want to trade it back?
I'm absolutely positive because you know why? I have a feeling about this one. Okay. Hey, do you want to come to Jacksonville, be a Jaguar?
You sure you don't want to trade back?
So now, hey, I'm going to ask you a question real quick. And the answer is yes, Travis. And I know you do because, hey, it's Jacksonville, right? No state income tax. Think about all the new fans you're going to get here. Travis, you look great in teal. I have one question for you, though. Have you ever played safety before? Have you ever played outside linebacker before? Because, listen, hey, have you ever played like center before? Because we don't know how to draft talent and then use that talent the way they're supposed to be used. So, yeah, Travis Hunter on any team would make the biggest difference in the world. I don't trust this team to use him properly, and I don't want that headache. I don't want to come in here and have to be like, why are we using Travis Hunter like this? Why are we? I don't want to have the conversation. I just want to pick where he can be. Obviously, he's playing this position. Put him there, set it, and forget it. Simple as that. And also, I don't need Deion Sanders, too, because, Deion Sanders is going to be on Twitter bad-mouthing the Jaguars as soon as they move him to safety or something because that's what this team does. Okay, so you're not going to address it in the draft. Well, Hamby, I have some names here. Now, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers. Like, I get probably Gabe Davis coming back and everything, but I'm gonna name some names.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get your thoughts about them to see, in a world, could you bring one of these guys in to help out Trevor Lawrence, maybe cut a free agent deal, maybe a minimum free agent deal, maybe a lot of money for free agents, but I'm going to give you 10 names, okay? Tell me what you think about them.
Mm-hmm.
T. Higgins.
I mean, he's a great player. I don't know where he's going to play.
Plus the money too, right?
Yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Can't see it happening. 0 shot.
Okay. Chris Godwin.
No shot they go get a guy who's coming off a season-ending injury.
Okay. But you can kind of see him in the slot though, right? Especially if Kirk, if they move on from Kirk. I mean, I get you got Parker Washington, but
yeah, I mean,
Stephon Diggs.
No.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Washed.
Hamby, you been watching him with the Chiefs? I know it's different though. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, nobody who's washed is washed with Patrick Mahomes, but you can be washed with 31 teams. You won't be washed with him.
Your favorite player, Deontay Johnson.
Come on.
Possession receiver. Yeah?
No, I just
You wouldn't take Deontay? What's going on with Deontay?
Not if you quit off your team. I'm good.
So who'd rather have? Deontay Johnson or Gabe Davis?
Gabe. I'm not going to go out and pay a guy because you're not. Gabe's on a 3-year deal, right?
Yeah. And by the way, the guys I'm listing, they're all going to be free agents next year. That's why I'm going through this list.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not going to go pay a lot of money for a guy who is potentially trouble in the locker room.
Do you think he's going to be a lot of money though?
Well,
he's not even playing. Like, how much is going to cost?
Look, the fact of the matter is, you gave Gabe $39 million. You've gotten 7 games out of him.
Yeah,
you're running it back.
Yeah,
you're running it back and trying to make the most of him.
Yeah,
the guy doesn't go from catching 10 touchdowns a year to what he did this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's another one.
He'll be fine.
Hollywood Brown,
a gadget guy,
but injury,
yeah.
But no, don't. No. Keenan Allen, possession receiver.
Yeah.
Possession receiver. Old.
Is he on a 1-year deal with the Bears, or the trade? They didn't extend him?
I guess, because it says he's going to be free agent next year. Keenan Allen.
Old.
No, not doing it?
No.
Hamby, if you can squeeze any sort of something from Keenan Allen, though, you pair that with Brian Thomas Jr., then Gabe Davis and
Austin,
Parker.
our receivers are fine. I guess that's just.
Are they?
Yeah, they're good.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How's Gabe Davis doing this year?
I get Gabe Davis.
Are we
a healthy
good?
Christian Kirk.
You sure we're good?
Healthy Evan Ingram, BTJ, Parker's emerging.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot more needs.
Okay, so all we're going to do is sharp offensive line, and Trevor's going to have an all-pro year. Got it, Hamby. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Trevor Lawrence needed more weapons.
I don't think
I didn't know. I didn't know we had the reincarnation of Patrick Mahomes, where it doesn't matter anymore. Okay,
no, I'm not saying we have top 5 weapons, but the weapons aren't the issue.
Cut Christian Kirk, put Parker Washington, Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr.
Christian Kirk.
Well, I mean, but we'll see. You see.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Look,
you see. Okay, well, here's some more names, quick. Elijah Moore
doesn't move the needle for me.
Wow. Obviously, you don't have him in fantasy football.
I do have him. He's all right.
He's making Jameis right now.
Yeah, Jameis.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hamby. Are we not a 3-win team? Is our offense not dead last in the NFL? I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help us here.
All right, so who are you going to get?
I mean, I'll tell you what, man. Keenan Allen's a little.
I mean, okay.
Keenan Allen. Yeah. Last one, Mike Williams. No. I feel like Mike Williams can be another Gabe. It's
he would just disappear.
He's a deep threat. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't want him, I don't want him.
Yeah.
Judy making Jameis. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Jerry Judy's having a hell of a year, but dude, Elijah Moore's put up some pretty decent numbers.
I know he is, but
okay. So we're happy with. I mean, do you? And obviously, you got to stick with Gabe, but was it an anomaly last year? Do you get a new offensive coordinator, new head coach, and all of a sudden the dialogue is going to be different with Gabe Davis?
I mean, I think I mean, I don't know about I don't even know if it would have to be a new coach. I think the scheme and if he plays this season and stays healthy for 17, I think at the end, and Trevor was there, it wouldn't be people would not be hammering Gabe Davis on week 17. I just don't think so.
Yeah. Well, those are the top free agents according to Pro Football Network in 2025. So if you don't get one of those guys, which I have a hard time believing anybody's going to, from that list, will come to Jacksonville. Just, there's a lot of injuries there. There's a lot of age there. So then either you address it in the draft early, which we don't think that's going to happen because you have so much to address. So yeah, Hamby, to kind of go with you, I think who you have is who you have then.
Yeah.
As weapons. Unless you go for a trade or something like that. Okay. I think the biggest thing is, can they all stay healthy? Seriously, because and listen, I'm going to knock on the most whatever. If something happens to Brian Thomas Jr. next year, I don't know what this team's going to be.
Yeah.
Some teams have the luxury, like the Rams. Puka can be out for a couple games. Oh, it's all good. Get Cooper Kupp. Oh, Kupp's out. Okay, we got Puka. Oh, they're both out. I guess Tutu Atwell and Denard Robinson, whatever that guy's name is, out of nowhere. You're going to be okay? I'm not sure if Jacksonville has that right now. So, yeah, maybe you address it in the draft, but then here's the next question.
First round, man.
No, not first round. But then here's the next question. If you do address it in the draft, Hamby, what are you looking for? Like in terms of what kind of skill set? Because we talked about it last year, right? What do the Jaguars need? Take the top off. Yeah, take the top. Well, enter Brian Thomas Jr. He's got size. He can take the top off. So check. You got that one. Now what else do you need?
I'd probably take another guy like him.
Okay.
I try to match him and just set him on the other side, right? Because I don't think. Again, I'm a Kirk fan.
Same.
Straight up.
Same, but I'm also not naive to the fact that the guy's been kind of banged up the past couple of years.
I get it, but with Parker as your backup, you're not going to find. You're not upgrading at that spot. I don't think. Mm-hmm. So, a guy who's got size and speed is exactly who I would.
Okay.
I would look at.
Do you think they asked Kirk to take a pay cut?
Doubt it.
Doubt it. And you think Kirk's here next year as well?
Yeah. I'm pretty much under the impression that everything that all the questions, the answer is just going to be, yeah, we're running it back.
Okay.
At this point.
Well, running it back with the new coaching staff, right? Or do you think that, yeah.
I would assume, but at the same time.
Or do you think that Peterson's coming back?
I don't know.
What is your gut telling you?
That he won't.
That he won't.
But again, Balky, like we said, there's no way. If they do, they will clean house. Well, Balky just signs Walker Little.
Yeah. I mean, so you're going to have Christian Kirk next year making $15 million.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but you got Gabe Davis making 13, so.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, think about it. Like, would you rather have Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk making that much, or would you rather have just T. Higgins making a little less than that and just have him?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kind of puts in perspective a little bit, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's get into college football a little bit, Hamby. I think we're going to go to break here in a little
break.
We're going to go break first?
Yeah, let's go to break now.
Come back, then we got in the college football landscape. Give the people a little tease there, Hamby.
Yeah, look, we're going to have a little state of college football. The transfer portal officially opens on, what's today? It opened on Monday. Yesterday was nuts, right? Everybody jumped in. We have 7-year-olds jumping in the transfer portal. I'm going to show you that.
A 7-year-old?
Yeah, 7-year-old.
Is this baby Gronk?
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm on board.
But what is going on in college football?
7-year-old?
Yeah.
Where's my son's offer then? He's 9.
Can't compete at that age.
I'm about to call up his school right now, man.
Also, UCF gets Mackenzie Milton back as their quarterback coach.
I saw that. That's cool. We'll talk about that.
Yep. And cool. Some different players that are jumping in. We'll have some highlights.
I mean, damn, Hammy, I said give him a tease. You just gave him the whole entree, but it's all good, man. We'll talk about it next year on the Brent and Austen Show.
Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt. And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning, 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jax 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hamby, you getting chills? You getting chills right there?
The boys are back.
Preach on it, Hamby. I'll let you take this one. Go ahead.
Yep. So we got obviously the UCF makes the hire. Scott Frost returns. That was announced Saturday night. Press conference was Sunday night, and then yesterday the news is that it was his first official hire as the head coach is to bring Mackenzie Milton back. Obviously, they were the head coach quarterback combination that, again, glory days for UCF.
Yeah.
And look, Mackenzie Milton was on staff with Tennessee under Heupel.
Okay. Obviously, probably a quarterback's coach as well, or
he was just an offensive analyst.
Okay.
So he's never been this is his first shot at being a
offensive quality control
position coach, right? Yeah. Apparently, he had Heupel's blessing to come down and interview. Done deal.
Good for him.
So, I mean, seeing, the yesterday on Twitter, the videos of Milton and Frost meeting up and dapping up and everything. And then Shaquem Griffin was actually in there as well.
Yeah.
Shaquille's brother. Obviously, they're UCF guys. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And hard to argue against the fact that that's going to be pretty dang effective in the recruiting ranks.
You would think so, right? Because you look at, and I'm not even sure like the story of Mackenzie Milton like was he a giant recruit coming out of college? Probably, or coming out of high school? Yeah, probably not, right? So, kind of make a name for yourself at UCF. He was with the national championship year?
Yes.
Yeah. To win a national championship and everything. Yeah, it's only going to help him. I remember Wisconsin did this with Jim Leonhard. Well, Jim Leonhard was the defensive coordinator there. Should have never let him go, but it is what it is. But he's a defensive coordinator. He's like Hamby. He's like I'm trying to compare who like Jim Leonhard would be to a guy in Florida. I can't even name one, but like he's like the ultimate small town folk hero, right? Like I think he went to a town of like 1,000, didn't have a stoplight, walked on to the Badgers, and ended up becoming, I want to say, a captain. He might have been considered as an All-American as well. Played a bunch in the NFL, comes back, then becomes defensive coordinator. But like in recruiting, that helps everything because you see, like, all right, if you're in Wisconsin, like, well, it's a university there, so like, you should have the rights to take every single player out of Wisconsin and let them come to play for the Badgers.
Right.
So you visit these small schools. Hey, if Jim Leonhard shows up, it's like, wow, like I grew up kind of idolizing him, and now he's talking to me. So I think bringing players back definitely helps. I mean, I'll be honest, like back this is like 4 or 5 years ago, Murray State asked if I wanted to apply to be like the defensive line coach or at least, some kind of assistant. And, it was a great opportunity, but at the same time, I know what coaching takes and I know how my mind works. And if I was going to coach collegiately or really any level, it'd be an obsession. And I don't have time for another obsession. All right. I'm an MMA fighter. I can only fit so much into one day, and coaching would not, be part of that.
Right.
But I think it's a great get by Scott Frost. I think it's a great get for UCF. And yeah, in terms of recruiting, it's only going to help them out. What else you got for us?
All right, so look, we got to let's talk about the state of college football, right?
Let us.
So yesterday it started off with guys like Dylan Stewart, right? And we talked about him. He's a South Carolina, one of the best freshmen in the country. And Brent talked about how just insane it is of a statement that the headline on it is Evan Stewart agrees to deal to come back to South Carolina for between $1 and $1.5 million, right? He was never even in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
He never even entered, but it was agrees to new deal. So it's like every year your players, at least your top players, are going to be signing new one-year deals effectively to stay at the school, right? And then we have a guy like Nitro Tuggle, which that is his name. Georgia,
I mean, is he an American Gladiator or is he a college football player?
Georgia freshman receiver, right? He was one of our top recruits, has not played a ton, which at Georgia is no shock. We don't play freshman receivers a ton.
You got to earn your stripes, son.
That's always been the case at Georgia.
Yep.
Right? No matter how good of a, but he's seen some action, and he was supposed to be the top guy next year, or at least one of the top two, right? He throws his name in the portal. Less than 24 hours later, announces that he's coming back. Right? So why is that? What is this? This is pretty much, I'm guessing, the same thing that Evan Stewart did with that, and that dozens of guys are doing, if not hundreds, without actually putting his name in the portal, saying, hey, I want more money. Georgia, at least effectively, right off the bat, says not going to be able to make it happen. He throws his name in the portal. Georgia comes back and says, hey, we'll do it, or negotiates, and he comes back, right? So again, every single top guy is negotiating a new deal, and this is just what we have. That brings us to Jack Pyburn yesterday.
Yeah,
okay?
we were all kind of surprised by this one.
Okay, so he's obviously a Bulls guy.
Yes.
Not highly recruited out of high school.
Sure.
The kind of and I didn't follow him but the story that I've gotten from Florida fans is that Florida took a shot on him. Florida gave him an opportunity.
Yeah.
Florida's worked with him. Their coaches have worked with him, and obviously he's grinded.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he's put the work in as well,
and he's become a dude.
Sure.
He's become a dude. Now, he's not no NFL prospect right now, but he is a legitimate starter for Florida, right? He's great in run stop off the edge, and he's got, he was big in the Ole Miss game, right? But he's coming out and says that he's putting his name in the transfer portal, and then this comes out, is that he wanted guarantees, right? So we have $45,000 per month, which, quick math, that's $540,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right? And y'all want to tell me that I can't do math? 45 times 12, just like that. So he's requiring $500,000.
Yeah,
and a guaranteed starting spot at outside linebacker.
Which is, by the way,
that doesn't exist,
dude. You got to earn What are we talking about? Okay, sorry.
Guaranteed to play on third downs is the craziest one to me.
I'm done with this, man.
More snaps in the rotation. Florida wasn't willing to agree, so Favre entered the portal.
Who's going to agree? Like, what happens? I don't know. Name a team. What happens if Oklahoma takes him? Okay, but then what happens if you get some balling freshman who plays outside linebacker where it's like, oh, we can't play this kid now because, well, Jack's contract says that we have to play him at starter. Like, what are we doing? Man. And listen, I'm going to say this much about it. It's so hard on me for me to speak on this stuff, Ham, because it's so foreign to me, right? Like, I remember, my junior year at Murray State, I get 12 sacks. All of a sudden, a lot of hype, right? All-American status, conference player of the year, all this stuff. All these accolades start rolling in. And then all of a sudden you start hearing, okay, well, you want to transfer D1 or something? There was talks of it. Mm-hmm. And I always remember, and my defensive line coach told this to me, he's like, if you're good enough, it doesn't matter where you play at.
Right.
They'll find you. They'll come to you and talk about the league, obviously, the NFL. And he wasn't wrong. And I almost felt like I owed an allegiance to Murray State because it was my only scholarship offer I had. Mm-hmm. Only one. I had nothing else. I was a 0-star recruit. Nobody gave me the time of day. Murray State did. So even if Wisconsin came calling, I almost, once again, not NIL anymore, but if Wisconsin came calling Hamby, I don't think I would have transferred. Because to me, Murray State was the only team that wanted to take the chance. So when you got this guy in Jack Pyburn, right? Is that right?
Yep.
Pyburn, sorry.
Yep.
I got him confused with Paul Feinbaum. Jack Pyburn, dude, I understand you're in a climate now, you're in a time where money is king, and yeah, go get your money because your team sells a lot of tickets, right? You sacrifice the blood, sweat, and tears and all this stuff. But also, don't forget who took a chance on you. Don't forget, the Alabamas I don't think were calling, okay? The LSUs weren't calling. Florida took a chance, and you made it right. You worked hard, and you are where you are now, so more power to you. But it's copacetic. It goes hand in hand. And now you want to say, hey, Florida, I need all these stipulations. If not, see ya. It's wild, Hamby. And it honestly makes me nervous what we're talking about 5 years from now. If we're talking about guarantees and NIL contracts and all this stuff right now and we're still in its infancy, what does this look like 5 years from now?
Well, here's what our future is. 2025, coming in at 4'4" and 49 pounds, a 5-star running back, cornerback, and safety who is 6 years old. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the West Orlando Jags organization for allowing me to play on their 6U tackle football team during the 2024 season. It has been a great experience, and I truly appreciate all the support and opportunities provided. With that being said, I have decided to enter the transfer portal with 1 year of eligibility remaining to play 6U for the 2025 season. Thank you again for everything, and I look forward to what the future holds. Keep in mind, at the bottom there are all of his offers from other 6U teams in the area. Where will I go?
I think I'm just going to start talking about hockey. I think I'm just going to find a new network, all hockey, all the time.
This is JC on Juice Harris.
Hamby, I can't do this, man.
JC on Juice Harris.
I can't.
Where's he going to go?
Dude, okay.
Where's he going? He's 4'4", 49 pounds.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Because, listen.
Hey, Dad, great job drafting that.
Hey,
I know.
Down. Right? Yeah.
Great job, Dad.
Great job,
copy and pasted.
That's AI all day. Hey, AI, I have a 6-year-old who's going to switch Pop Warner teams, drop a thank you and announce that I'm going to transfer. Listen, I have a 9-year-old who is absolutely obsessed with football.
You're jealous. You're jealous. You don't have a 5-star.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I didn't push him down this road for whatever reason, and I think it's due to Oregon, because I remember, like, what helped me out was being a Green Bay Packers fan, right? Because when I was coming up as a kid, they were really good, right? So, like, football was kind of king. Same thing with basketball and the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. I grew up in a time where you had good teams that I was cheering for. What a time to be alive. Now we're in Jacksonville. But my son is a big Oregon fan. So, like, he's been just getting, like, so like, he's all in, man. Like, they're going to win the championship, all this stuff, and he loves football. Great. I'm not going to be that parent that's going to, like, coach him hard. I'm not going to be that, because to me, the way that I navigated through my sports career as a youngster it was about having fun. As long as I was having fun, I was willing to work hard. If I was having fun, I was willing to play and run around and all this stuff. But, like, that's what it was all about. If I ever felt like I was getting, and once again, I didn't feel like this, but, like, if I would have had a parent that was, like, trying to push me, like, we have to be here at a certain time, we got to do this kind of training, you got to get in the weight room, I would have burnt out. Just knowing who I was at that time, I would have burnt out. So I'm trying to take the same philosophy with my son, where it's like, dude, yeah, we can work hard, but we're gonna have fun. Like, we're not gonna, like, I'm not gonna have you in the weight room. I'm not gonna have you doing specialized stuff. Like, you run some routes. I'll throw you the football. If you want to do some drills, tell me. We can do some drills. But, like, this is all on you. Has nothing to do with me and trying to live vicariously through you. But I will say this: if the day ever does come that my son becomes a good football player, maybe wide receiver, maybe defensive end, and it's time to make his announcement, his commitment, I'm going to tell him the only thing that I ask of you is that you literally just sit in front of a camera and you go, hey, I'm going here, the end. That's all I ask. That's the only thing I will ever ask my son in his football career, is don't make it, because, like, dude, it's such a spectacle now, and I get it. It's fun. It's Twitter interaction and all this stuff, but I feel like when you have things like this, Hamby, when you have the NIL, when you have a player that nobody really gave a damn about, but Florida took a chance on him, and now he's trying to write his own contract out saying, I got to play a certain amount of reps, I got to play on third down, I got to do this, I got to do that. You're taking away the magic of the game. Like, you're taking away the luster of the game, and it's becoming a job, and it's becoming a business. And I understand if you get to the NFL, that's what it is. Well, that's part of it. But, like, I was never concerned about the business side. Maybe I should have been. Maybe I should have been tweeting more stuff that would have got me a network deal one day. But I was having fun. Like, that's what it should be. And I see a kid like this right now, and I get it. Maybe this is more of his dad pushing him, and maybe he likes it, whatever the case may be. Just let him be a kid. Let them have fun. You're gonna have the rest of your life to worry about contracts and negotiations and bosses and all this stuff. Enjoy the moment while you can, man. But
all right,
I get it, man. I'm sitting on a porch.
All that's all well and good. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What's his NIL package looking like?
Oh, but my son's?
Nope.
Oh, this kid? Dude, I mean, do we know, is this kid like the real deal?
I have no idea. He's a 5-star?
What? Hey, what does that mean at that age? There's
That's
no ranking.
self-proclaimed.
Okay.
Somebody commented he should transfer to aunt and uncle having custody.
I'm about to make one for my son. 10 stars.
Yep.
Unheard of 10 stars.
Yeah.
I mean, Hammy, like, obviously with football, with NIL, like, you're seeing more of this. And if I see one more baby Gronk video, I'm gonna call social services. Okay, I'm tired of seeing that kid. Just let him be a kid. Baseball. You see the contract? Is baseball anything close to this?
No.
Not even close.
Not even close.
It's wild.
Because the NIL just really hadn't hit them as much.
Yeah, no, I understand that point, but, like, you see Soto's contract, right? And I get, like, okay, college NIL and everything in high school, it's not as popular. That's fine. But, like, I'm surprised that you're not seeing more of, like, parents trying to drum up interest in terms of their son being like a baseball player. You know, but I guess at the end of the day, like, it's not about really, I mean, yeah, college is important, but it's not like football, right? Like, you can be a great baseball player, go play at Quinnipiac, random university, and you're going to be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that might be the difference.
I mean, it'll get there eventually, probably.
Have you seen a shift?
So huge.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen a shift just coaching, like, your kids? Like, do you see it is more about, like, the social media? It's more about like the flair. Okay.
Yeah, it is. I mean, self publicity in a sense of getting your tape out there.
Yeah.
And stuff is even big for travel ball for 13, 14, 15-year-olds now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nowhere near this level.
Yeah.
It's nowhere. I did want to hit one more thing on college football.
Please.
So Kromenhoek, FSU's quarterback, decides to go to the portal. And there's more quarterbacks in the portal than like everybody's going to have their pick.
Yeah.
Right. And so the question is like for FSU is Norvell. First of all, the question is, can he develop a quarterback? Right. Because we got Jordan Travis and was Jordan Travis good before him or not? Then it's like, should Norvell go get 2 transfer quarterbacks, right, to battle him out just in case he's not?
Yeah.
Right, because obviously with DJ, UCF was in the same problem with KJ. Right, should we go get 2 transfer guys? But then the dilemma is, well, if you're bringing in a transfer guy, you're telling him that is his job, right? Especially somebody that's had success at his prior program.
Yeah.
So it's like this year we're going to figure out a lot about how coaches go about trying to get transfer quarterbacks in.
Yeah.
And that's not. I really don't have much else to say about Kromenhoek. Obviously, I think I don't really know what his. He thinks he's really going to benefit. I think he would have been pretty well served to stay at FSU and get a lot of playing time. I'm not really sure of his situation.
Yeah.
But there's that. And then the last thing I'll say, college-wise, the top quarterback in the class, transfer-wise, Mensah, who was from Tulane.
Okay.
He just decided to go to Duke. So Duke's guy, Malik Murphy, he puts his name in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And so people are like, oh, maybe Miami will be a good fit for him.
Yep.
We mentioned that on the show yesterday with Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin retweeting that. But and now Mensah is the top guy, and he's going to Duke.
Interesting.
So it's just a Ferris wheel, man.
Hamby, let's go ahead and go to break here because we got some guests in the studio. But I want to ask you this question real fast. If you're a collegiate program, does it almost pay now to go after that coveted 5-star recruit and say, hey, you're going to be our guy for the next 4 years or 3 years before you leave for the draft? Or do you have a better shot taking the Oregon approach and saying, you know what? We'll just keep revolving the door. We'll keep on bringing in the highly coveted transfer portal guy and keep having success. Like, where do you see what's better for your program?
Is that right now or after the break?
I'm asking you right now.
Oh, no. I think it's you try to develop still, but you can't go all in on a 5-star because if it doesn't work out, he's gone. And you got to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
So you got to have both.
But it's like, how can you justify that now? Because you see, okay, Bo Nix. Oh, we lost Bo Nix. Goes to the Broncos. Okay, what's Oregon going to do? No problem. Here's Dylan Gabriel. Going to set every single collegiate record at passing because he's been in college football for like 7 years now, it seems like. It's wild how it works, man. There used to be a precedent of, hey, this guy's a 5-star recruit. Let's get him in. And now it's more like, all right, well, let's see what the portal's got. Hey, when we come back, we're going to have some special guests here next on the Brent and Austen Show.
Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt. And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning, 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jags 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers. And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices or pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show. We got a big thing happening this weekend. It's going to be the Army versus Navy game. And if you're in town, check out the Army versus Navy watch party, the only game they'll be taking part on Saturday. Hit up Everbank Stadium. The watch party is going to be starting we have here 2 o'clock, the gates open. Game starts at 3. Free parking, you can't beat that. And we are joined by some very special guests today. We have Zach Payton out of West Point, and then we got Caleb Cronick out of the Naval Academy. Gentlemen, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. So obviously we have one Army guy, one Navy guy here. How is it tension right now between you two, or are we friendly?
There's always a little bit of tension between Caleb and I. I see him, our kids go to the same elementary school. I see him in the mornings. It's always tense. There's a stare down. Our kids,
I'm just trying to drop my kids off, and I get heckled on the way from his daughter.
Yeah. You got to teach him young, right?
As someone who grew up with this game, my grandfather served in the Army, so we always watched this game. We had 3 channels growing up, and one of the channels had this game on every single year. So we watched it. It's one of the best games to watch every single year. What is this rivalry just like? Because you talked about the Air Force game, and that's a great game as well between Army, but it's Army-Navy, man. What does this matchup mean?
I mean, I think it's for not just for football, but for every sport at the academy. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to get that star for beating Navy, right? Mm-hmm. And so, it's been a great season for Army. There's been a lot of talk about how we got left out of the conversation, and Bryson Daly got left out of the conversation for the Heisman and all of that, but. At the end of the day, that none of that stuff really matters, because if we achieve, like, let's say we made the playoff but we lost the Navy, like we could win the whole daggum national championship and people would be like, well, we lost the Navy, so we'll try again next year.
Yeah, we wouldn't let them live it down, and especially this day and age where you've got NIL, people shifting around. It's almost like on Saturday you get a glimpse of that old pure football where these players have been there for 4 years, they're all committed to be there for the entire time. And it's still, once again, on both sides of the ball now, it is a modified wing tee that's the millennial wing tee or sling tee for us that we call it. And Army's had somewhat of I think, decent year. From what I understand, they're still playing.
They're doing pretty good, I think, from the last time I checked. Now, you had one game against Notre Dame that didn't go as well.
I mean, Caleb brought up NIL, and I think that's a good point. I think that a lot of these teams are even nervous to talk about the fact that, you got one team with a program that's got a $20-30 million NIL budget playing a team that's got a $0 NIL budget. Mm-hmm. Our guys can transfer out if they want to before their junior year, right?
Yeah.
But they can't, nobody can transfer in. Like, and I don't know that you would want to go from, being a football player at a party school like LSU or something like that, and then go to Castle Grayskull, and get hazed all summer long, and then work your butt off from 6 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. So we don't get and then get congressional approval and meet the academic standards too.
Yeah.
So we get none of that benefit, but I think the interesting thing, and I think one of the reasons why we'll continue to see the academy programs be competitive, is that our guys do play together all 4 years, and so the team aspect, so long as we have good coaching, I think the team aspect will overcome the mismatches on the field. Unless we play Notre Dame and get knocked in the dirt.
But I think it is a great point though of the years when NIL is really taken over, both Army and Navy are having fantastic years.
That's wild, isn't it?
You wouldn't expect that just from an athletic ability standpoint. There's so many rigors that happens at both academies.
Yeah.
But they're able to compete on the football field, and that does just go to show you how much that teamwork, that pride, and even how much school pride and discipline that comes into play there.
I think it's a great testament, and it's really the soul of football, or really any kind of team sport, right? Because we talk about the NILs, we talk about the transfers and everything, these 5-star recruits. Like, let's be honest, your guys' teams aren't really getting 5-star recruits, but it's all about how you play the game and how you play together. And there is something great to be said about it. And I was cheering for Army when you guys played Notre Dame, because to me,
Trust me, the whole world was.
I think the whole world was. Except Caleb over here. But everybody else was, because it kind of put a precedent saying, like, hey, even though we don't have all the NIL money, even though we're not getting these big prize recruits, we play football together. And that gives us a shot to win. Now, didn't go your way, obviously, but I still think on a great year, you showcased against Tulane a little bit your last game. It does speak a lot in terms of playing that team game.
Yeah, I think we made up for it with the Tulane game and taking the AAC championship in the first year that Army played in the AAC. I think that's a big accomplishment. Unfortunately, Jeff Monken's getting a lot of press lately, and he's been in the conversation with too many football teams. We don't want to see him go.
Yeah,
as that was we had a long drought with football before he came on board. So I'm hoping that he's I'm proud of him for what he's accomplished. I wish him the best, but I hope that he finds a way to stay with Army, because I think he's been integral to our success.
Well, I will say I am looking forward to the coaching battle, because my cousin Drew Cronick just took over as offensive coordinator this year, and they've gone from 17 points a game to over 40 points a game.
There you go.
And so I want to see him do well, but of course not too well, because I don't want him to go anywhere either.
Yes, that's the way it works sometimes.
Do you guys cheer for each other when y'all play teams like Notre Dame and everybody else?
I'll say this: I pay attention when Navy plays, and I'm glad when they win, because I think it's good for the academies to have good other good programs in the mix. Like, so I think it's like the rising tide raises all ships, because you got to get people interested in even going to these schools, and you got to have competitive programs, because we're all competing for the same group of athletes who can make it academically, right, and who want to commit to a lifetime of service to the country, right? So that's a smaller group than you could possibly imagine. So, but I'll tell you this, I was annoyed watching Navy this year, because Army's having this great year, especially when we get to like they were 7-0, we were 7-0.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, Army's doing great. Let me see how Navy's doing. I'm like, damn, they're just like matching us, like, you know, we blow somebody out, they would blow somebody out. We were both undefeated there for a while, and I'm just like,
if
man,
Army was 1-10, I would have rooted for them against Notre Dame. But no, I was like, what's going on here?
We're going to put on a pedestal a little bit right now. Yeah.
Y'all both gave up 14 points to Notre Dame, so
there you go. You know, I think we watched College Game Day, right? And we all have the preconceived notions of what the game day experience is, right? It's tailgating, it's pounding beer and everything. From your guys' experience, it's a little different, right? Coming from the Naval Academy, coming from West Point, what is the typical college game day experience at these two institutions? Like, we'll start with you.
You don't really want to know, do you?
I mean, no, I really do. Because it looks like you guys still having fun in the stands. I don't know.
Well, I was actually explaining this to somebody recently, right? So the Friday night before game day, that's where it starts. That's where the fun really like kicks in.
Okay.
You got to clean your room, right? Like, because we had, there's a Saturday morning inspection, like we called it SAMI, right?
Okay.
Saturday AM inspection, right? And it's literally some guy comes through your room, or gal comes through your room with a white glove and like checks every horizontal surface in your room, right? This is how your game day kicks off. You're like, hey, your game day, baby. Let's get this inspected. And then if they find dirt in your room, just a little bit, they then explain to you how you have killed your entire platoon. Like, it's that level of intensity, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, how dare you leave dirt on the top of your radiator? Like, you're, you know, and we had radiators too, like back in the day still. There was no central heating and air. And so then you go out to the parade field. We do a parade, and you know, and the parades are brutal, right? Like, you're out there for probably 45 minutes standing at parade rest or at attention. You know, we used to watch people fall over, like pass out during parade practice, especially when it's hotter.
Sure.
So passing out for a different reason than normal colleges.
Yeah, exactly. Man, no, I passed out today. Like, how many beers do you have? No, I was on the parade field for 45 minutes, right?
Okay.
And so, and you know, like we had the saying, like, don't be a hero, take a knee, right? Like, you're in the parade, so that's not fun.
Yeah.
And then you get a bag lunch and walk up a very steep hill
bag lunch
to the football game. And my memories of Army are horrendous. You know, I was just back up for my 20-year reunion just this past October. And I was at the ECU game, you know, where we played so well that ECU fired their coach after the game, right?
Gotta love that.
And what I didn't realize at the time was 20 years ago, right? We played ECU on that same weekend, my senior year at West Point. We were 0-7 20 years ago. This year we were 7-0. I was at Army when we went 0-13 and set the NCAA loss record for, you know, I don't think you can play 13 games
and
lose them all
time.
this year.
It really was.
I mean, what is that? So you have to go through like all of the, you know, the formation and everything. Then you have to go watch a team that's probably not going to win. That's got to be a little depressing for you.
When I was there as a cadet, it was brutal.
I bet.
But this time around, I mean, you know, I was like, am I in the same stadium? Like, Mikey Stadium was just electric. The cadets were all riled up. We played an awesome game against ECU. I mean, just from the first play, it was just like the whole stadium was on fire. So I think the cadets today, and like in stretches where the team's better, like they have more fun. But everything leading up to it is basically miserable. And then you just hope you get to see some good football.
I
right?
do think a major.
Caleb, what was your experience like?
So we did have central heating and air because, I mean, at one point in time in my life, I did have dreams of living in a castle in the middle of nowhere and pretending to be a knight. But then I had my 10th birthday, so
time to grow up a little bit.
You got to grow up at some point.
Yeah.
But I mean, we always marched through Annapolis, so you've got the town cheering for you there. And then another connection that happens is, I know most schools, like I grew up outside of Athens, Georgia, there's not really a connection between the athletes and the student body necessarily as much. But these are your same classmates. These are the same people you're going to serve with in the Army or Navy after graduation. So you also have that built in, you want them to do well. And I mean, the funny part is this goes up the highest ranks of echelon. This week, I guarantee there are bets at the Pentagon between generals and admirals over parking spaces.
Yeah.
Of who's going to win this game.
This game.
And you have that built in. So you could go into D.C. and anyone in uniform or that's been a grad, there's that same fervent atmosphere that's there.
Wow. When we talk about this game, I mean, there's so many memories that I remember just growing up and still watching to this day. I mean, I forgot what year it was, but there was like a whiteout game where it was snowing and Army was actually wearing the all-white uniforms that year. And I'm like, that might be a little bit of a competitive advantage, but it is what it is. To you guys, I mean, with such a big rivalry here, like what are some of your favorite memories of this game?
I mean, look, I can't we won one game out of 4 years when I was there, right?
And we never lost, by the way. So
yeah, well then we when I was there, we kicked off the 14-year losing streak to Navy. You know, it was just a bad decade and a half. Mm-hmm. So I can't say that I have favorite memories of it. Well, because the 1 year that we won, that's my favorite memory.
Of course, yeah.
All I remember about those games is showing up, and so it's very military, right? Like there's the march on before the game, right, where all the cadets and the midshipmen all march onto the field in formation. Army's marching looks like they were actually taught military discipline, and then the Navy guys look like
you don't have to march very far in a ship.
The second tier, like JROTC guys. So
we've got better, more important things to do than march in a straight
I mean, it sounds like we are AC and everything over there.
Yeah, they got AC.
You guys are living the life over there at the Naval Academy.
But so let's say the march on's at 2:00, right? So 2:00, then you got to march on. So there's like an hour before that, and then like every echelon below that, everybody backs it off by like an hour.
Okay.
Right, and so you're required to show up to the game at like 8:00 in the morning and then stand outside in the cold for 5 or 6 hours. And I'm not kidding, like 5 or 6 hours. And it's these games are never in like Miami.
Oh no.
It's never
in Arizona or anything.
No. It's Philadelphia,
of course,
the Meadowlands, Baltimore, Boston. Like
the warmth of camaraderie only gets you so far when it's that cold for that long.
Of course. Or heaven forbid you guys play like indoors for this game too as well. Right. There's plenty of indoor stadiums.
Like heaven forbid. But we wouldn't form up indoors though. We'd still be outside. But the thing
once again, a difference with Army and Navy. It sounds like there wasn't a lot of thought process to that.
You got guys running the place who are like in the Ranger Regiment or Special Forces. They're like, it's not cold. Suck it up. Figure it out, dude. Like you're all right. You're gonna be okay. You might lose a finger, but that's okay. Yep. And the common misconception about the uniforms that the cadets and the midshipmen wear is that they're warm. Everybody looks at them and they go, those uniforms look warm.
Do you know how many times I've watched the game and like, okay, it's snowing up, but they got like these long coats on and everything. You guys look pretty comfortable. Not at all.
They're like the opposite of warm.
Not at all.
Right. And I wasn't from a cold weather state. Like I was from Texas.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't know how to dress for the cold. And I'm like, all right, well, I got a couple layers on. That's good. But you get out there and you're out in the cold for, 10 hours, 12 hours. It's miserable.
Yeah.
So to go from that into like my memories of the game have not been fun. My most fond memories of the Army Navy game have been recently, like the year that we broke the streak with the last second field goal.
Yeah.
Like everyone under Monken, like last year's game. I mean, think about last year's game. It went down to a goal line stand by Army to stop Navy from winning. Like we won that game by 6 inches last year, 3 inches. Like I don't know. It was that close for the quarterback sneak to get across the.
And Zach and I were watching that together at the stadium we were last year. Yeah. And as we're paying attention to the game and supposed to be parenting our kids, come to find out our kids were on the other side of the stadium. Security had brought them all the way over to us to let us know we needed to watch our kids play.
It was Caleb's kids who led the breaking of the barriers. That's what I was.
Okay.
You got to know how to break rules.
Well, and Caleb, real quick, I mean, obviously you probably had a lot of memories then, with your time at the Naval Academy watching this game, but what are some of your favorite memories of this?
I mean, it's almost
too many to name, it seems like.
It's almost the periphery experience, because even when you're there, you've got anyone you can think of is also at the game, and if they're not at the game, you're watching it. Like I grew up in a log cabin in the middle of Georgia.
Yeah.
We watched the Army-Navy game. Everyone watches it. Yep. It is truly America's game that's there, and what a good culmination. And so it's almost just this entirety of the memories are there. Now, if you want a better experience than what we had watching the game, you can come down to the Jaguars stadium.
There you go.
It's supposed to be pretty nice weather. Watch it on the world's largest TV screens. And by the way, this is a city-sponsored, citywide event, so anyone can come. You don't have to go on Army, Navy, anything else. It's a good time. Bring kids as well. Security will take care of them if you can't for some reason. And it also helps raise funds for the Jacksonville Veterans Fund as well.
Yeah, so gates open at 2 o'clock. There's going to be a $5 donation that's required, and then food and drink will be also available for purchase. Gates open at 2. Game starts at 3, I guess, right?
Starts at 3.
Yeah, say no more.
Guys, obviously, military town. Like, how popular is this event in years past? And also, Caleb, do y'all have a little bit of a competitive advantage as far as representation-wise since we got the base right
This
here?
is Jacksonville.
It's a Navy town.
Yeah.
It is definitely a Navy town. There's still a pretty good, solid Army contingent. There's normally a little over 1,000 people that show up for the event. I mean, it is the world's largest watch party outside of the game that we actually have right here in Jacksonville.
Nice.
And I think
You're
that's
saying world's largest. There's no bigger gathering for this game than Jacksonville.
not outside of the game.
actual game itself.
No, this is it. So this is
cool.
the biggest one, and that's where Jacksonville's a wonderful city to host something like this. Not only do you have a city that works with you to make this type of event happen, but then you have a fan base that's here that supports the military enough to where they're excited to come and watch this event. So it's a fun one.
And this is one of those events, too, even if you don't have any military ties, bring the family. I mean, once again, you can watch a college football game, the only football game on Saturday, on the world's biggest Jumbotron. Like, I can think of a worse way to spend a Saturday.
No, should be a good
one. Yeah.
Awesome. Hamby, we all good, man?
Free parking as well.
Free parking as well. Which you can't beat that because Jaguars games gets a little more pricey and everything. All right, so let me ask you guys this and we can close out here. You know, despite what Vegas says with the odds and everything, I feel like every time you guys play, it's close. You know, and go and ask Ohio State, Michigan what a rivalry game is. You know, like we have these giant rivalry games. Like the games are always nail biters, I feel like. How are we feeling about this game?
What do we got, a 6-point favorite?
I mean, like Zach said, this is a game outside of anything else, outside of expectations, outside of how you've done for a previous in the year. I mean, Army's had a pretty good year, but I'm not worried about them because even though they might be out of practice for losing, I think they'll be all right. They'll cope.
Yeah.
So I'm really not worried about them. And for this game, you build everything into it. We can't even stress to you how important the game is and how ingrained is it in your mind because even your first year that you're at one of the academies, anytime you turn a corner, you have to yell, "Beat Army."
Yeah.
So imagine how many hundreds of thousands of times you say "Beat Army," and I don't want to say it's brainwashed into you, but it's there.
It's ingrained. It's definitely ingrained.
Like I still wake up and scream it every now and then. Just it happens.
Yeah.
And so no, I think it'll be a good, close game. Regardless of who's playing better this year or not.
Yeah.
And it should be entertaining to watch. It definitely with both offenses how they're running this year. It should be a lot more points scored. Just from an entertainment value, you've got more passing that's built in. It's a little bit of something for everybody.
Well, we didn't pass in the first half versus Tulane, but I guess we didn't need to though, right? So I think Daly completed one pass for 8 yards in the whole game, but it was still exciting for me to watch, and that's what matters. So I mean, like every bone in my body, like I want to say like this is the year for Army to get a big win here, but I just know like. No matter what happens, like Caleb said, it's gonna be a competitive game.
Yeah,
like I like we've had a great year. That's all done now, though.
Yeah.
You know, Navy's had an extra week of rest. You know, they've had an extra week to get healed up, an extra week to prepare, and so
Sounds like excuses already.
but I think it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be as close as last year. Like that was you know, probably like a one. I mean, that was a special game last year. That last play of the game, for it to literally come down to the last play of the game with just 3 inches. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to being there at the watch party on Saturday. I know it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I will admit, last year my son came up to me. He's like, "Dad, are we ever going to beat Army?" I was like,
hopefully not.
That's heartbreaking. That hurts right there. Real quick too. I mean, we broke down the uniforms that you guys will be rocking for this game. Do you guys follow that as well, or is it just kind of like, yeah, it's cool and everything, but like it's all about the rivalry?
You know, I have seen the uniforms. I've heard some commentary, but I don't remember specifically what it was. I know that it was like, I forget, is it I forget what I think it's third ID this year for the uniforms.
Actually, I think
because I know you guys were rocking the Jolly Rogers.
Yeah.
And you guys,
Jolly Rogers.
Yeah.
You talk about like stuff that you stopped doing when you were 10.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. It's one of the
pretending to be a pirate.
It's one of the coolest helmets I've ever seen. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's pretty.
Look, I can't help that we just look better. I mean, do you want to look like one of the Wizard of Oz monkeys up at West Point, or do you want to look like somebody that knows what they're doing? I mean,
I had to explain to my kids what Castle Grayskull was.
Oh yeah,
and it involved like watching multiple episodes of He-Man at that point. And they're like, "So that's where you went to school?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Castle Grayskull."
But no, I think when you're talking about uniforms, of course they do a great job every year. But I think
that's great.
That speaks to what you're bringing into it. It's not just one school against another. As the Naval Academy or as West Point, you're representing the entire Navy and everything that it involves. The same thing with Army. You're representing everything that's there. And so you've got a lot more, not just pressure, but pride that you can put on your back and helps push you through the game.
And Zach, here we got the Screaming Eagles. This is going to be presented for you guys this year.
Yeah, the 101st, and I think the clover on the helmet. I do think the clover on the helmet. I believe it had to do something with the Battle of Bastogne. Like I believe, like I'm not pulling that out.
No, so we actually watched the video and everything on the show. So yeah, so there's going to be the clover. It's the card suits.
Right.
So depending, I think, on the position, each position will be rocking like a different card suit.
Right.
And then Chris, for you guys are just rocking. Yeah, I mean. It's pretty badass, man. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Come on.
It's pretty cool. I'm not.
No, I think it looks. That's the dorkiest looking uniform I've ever seen.
I think that one looks great.
Yeah, all black, really original.
Well, Caleb Cronick, man, Zach Payton, appreciate you guys stopping by. One more time, tell the people how they can get to the game and everything. So it's 2:00. The doors open. Everbank Field.
Yeah,
free parking.
Come down, free parking. You got a suggested $5 donation. You can see the game on the world's largest TV screens, and even if you do have some weather, you can watch it inside. Bring the family. It's just a great fun event.
Awesome. And all the proceeds from the game go directly to the JVET Fund, which helps veterans in needs this time of year, especially for clothing, rent assistance, utilities, like you name it. If you're a veteran who's been honorably discharged, you can go down to the city and get some financial assistance. That every dollar that we raise for this event goes to the JVET Fund.
Yeah, we've got Harrison Conyers here in the back with us, and he's instrumental with the city helping get this event going every single year. And so we definitely like to thank the city for helping put this on.
Thank you very
Shout
much.
out to Harrison.
Real quick, so, obviously Florida, Georgia, sometimes it's Georgia, Florida, depending who the home team is.
It's always Army, Navy.
It's always Army, Navy. What's up with that? I mean, are we cool with that?
We can actually spell. We know an A comes before an N.
Okay.
And we always sing seconds. That's when we put our names second.
That's when they win. I got you, man. Sounds great. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
Another exciting week of basketball for the Ospreys of North Florida, both at home and on the road. The men's basketball team started off the week on Thursday at home with a 115-83 win over Warner. It was a huge night for Ospreys freshman Josh Harris, who dropped 26 on 11 of 14 shooting to go along with his 14 boards in 27 minutes. Then on Saturday, the Ospreys traveled to Statesboro to take on Georgia Southern. UNF found themselves down 17 in the second half, but came storming back to force overtime. Unfortunately, the Ospreys couldn't complete the full comeback as they fall 93-91. Both the men and the women are back at UNF Arena this week, as the men take on UNC Greensboro and the women take on UNC Asheville. Both games are on Saturday. And remember, you can find schedules, results, tickets, and more at unfospreys.com.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, save $1,000 or more when you bundle a Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Ask about our 90-day love it or leave it guarantee. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
When it comes to trucks, I know exactly what I want. And at Bozard Ford, they make it easy to get exactly that. Let's go make this truck a little more my style. With Bozard Built, I can create my perfect truck right here. Lift kit? Check. Premium wheels? You bet. Advanced lighting package? Oh yeah. The Bozard team works their magic. From bumper to tailgate, I'm making this truck mine. It's everything that I wanted and more. From the field to the gym to weekend adventures. This truck's built for my journey. Bozard Built. Customized for your lifestyle, built to exceed your expectations. Check out the inventory and available options at bozardbuilt.com. Unleash your dream ride. Customized, covered, and Bozard approved.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're gonna love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jax Beach and Mandarin locations. Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
What a beautiful place. You know where this is?
Hang on, let me make some adjustments here. Do I know where that is? Is that where Trevor Lawrence is from?
No.
No, I don't know. Is that... No, what is that place?
This is Athens, GA.
Oh, it's Athens, Georgia?
Yep.
Where are like the nightclubs and stuff?
They're around here.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you got us. Is this where Brent's at right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now it's all coming. I'm like, how do we just have this video? So that's downtown's Athens right there, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I got you, Hamby.
Yes,
Hamby, you got any like recommendations? Any restaurants? Any taverns? Any bars? Any clubs to check out? Not one.
Well, I forget what it's called.
Okay. Can't even call himself a Georgia fan. Okay. Cool.
No. Well, I mean, there's a couple of different spots, but the best place is it's like a pharmacy, like a Walgreens with a diner in there. It's the best. You know, the old ladies in there.
Oh yeah, man.
They'll take good care of you,
dude. I'm telling you, like, you're not wrong. So there's a place in Murray called Salmon's Bakery. Same thing. It used to just be its own little thing, and now it's in a gas station. Dude, the best like bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches you're ever gonna have.
Oh yeah, I had one there.
And once again, you get the old ladies making it up, man. Something about the olds.
Something about the olds when it comes to breakfast sandwiches and Publix sandwiches. Listen, if you're at a Publix, you want a pub sub, you better make sure that the lady or gentleman making the sandwich is at least like 70 years old. Like, I have a prerequisite when I go to Publix. I go, hey, ma'am, can I see your AARP card?
Right.
Boom. Okay, yep. By all means, let me go and get one of those chicken tender subs, please. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, and we're going to toast it as well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's as Michael Irvin said it best. We're losing recipes. We're losing recipes. By the way, that's ADD Drugstore. What it's called.
ADD Drugstore. All right, man. Yeah. If I'm ever on that area, I'll check it out for sure.
To.
Cool.
All right, here's what I want to get your thoughts on.
Hit me with it.
All right. Brett Favre.
Heard of him.
Right? Been in the news for some not so great things of late.
Yeah.
A video services it's from a documentary that's coming out. I'm about to play you the clip. It's on ESPN. ESPN gave us where this video is from. Is also who's doing the documentary.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people saying, "Wow, this is one of those few times where you see a video of Brett Favre nowadays, and you come away thinking that the other guy
bad for him.
Yeah, you may feel bad for him.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you, and we'll see what you think. This is the guy that's coming up to him is as we'll get into was the former sack leader, single season with 22 before Strahan broke it.
Yeah, Mark Gastineau.
Yep.
Now you
tell me met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm gonna get my sack back. I'm gonna get my sack back, dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me.
So awkward.
You hurt me. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me. You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
Here it is.
Yeah, no, I know. He was going to...
Where do you want him to go?
So, here's the thing. Around... I don't think I'm breaking anything. This should be public knowledge. Around NFL circles, there's I don't want to call it like I don't know what you'd call it. I don't want to call it a rumor, but like there's a folk story that says that Favre wanted Strahan to have the sack, and he actually told, I think it was his right tackle, to let Strahan go. That's around some inner circles. Now, I feel like that story got out. I feel like that's kind of public knowledge once again. I don't think I'm breaking any news by any means. But like, there's always been a kind of a thing where it's like Favre stood in the huddle and said, hey, let's let Strahan get here. Because I guess like the game was whatever. Game was over.
Yeah.
And he said, let's let Strahan get it. And then the right tackle let him go. Favre kind of just goes down, and that's what it is. Here's why I don't care about this video. I mean, I do care because it makes me, like, it's funny. I didn't know this video existed until you tweeted it or you texted us, Hamby. And you're talking about Brett Favre, who, like, up there with Ken Griffey, Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and then it's Brett Favre. Like, I had my Brett Favre jersey. I idolized Brett Favre as a child, right? So, yeah, imagine my distaste and disdain when many years down the line that you learn, you know, what he's been up to.
Mm-hmm.
Upsets me a little bit. Kind of kills the inner child in me a little bit. Because, yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't look past it, but I didn't understand the pain pill thing that he went through when he played for the Packers. Like, I was too young to get it. All I knew was, like, when I'm in the backyard throwing a football, I'm Brett Favre. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. So he was a hero. And, yeah, I didn't get the whole thing. I did get the whole thing, but with the Jets, with the reporter, like, didn't really care. Because, once again, Brett Favre, Green Bay Packers, backyard, doesn't get any better. And I didn't care when he went to Minnesota, and there was a civil war in the state of Wisconsin because some people followed him to Minnesota and became Vikings fans, and some people remained Packers fans. Didn't care, man. Was always a fan. And then all of a sudden, the whole scandal comes out with the university and everything. I'm just like, oh, man, I can't be a fan of you anymore. That sucks. So then when I see Mark Gastineau, who, by the way, if you don't know, has been through his own trials and tribulations in terms of some pretty serious allegations and some stuff that he's been arrested for, and also felt the need to take steroids like they're going out of style. I don't feel sorry for you, man. I don't feel sorry for anybody in this video.
You want to hear what Brett Favre threw the air?
Please, I can't wait to hear that. I haven't seen this part.
All right, so he puts out a long thread. I'm not going to read it all because it's very long. Said I want to clear the air on the footage release showing a small dust up between myself and Mark Gastineau, the former New York Jet. So here you go. So he says, back in 2002, when Strahan sacked me at the end of the game that we had wrapped up, I was in no way trying to hurt Mark. I was trying to close out a game and squeeze the last bit of fun out of a hard-fought game. I booted out of a run, thinking it would be wide open, saw Strahan standing there, and ducked down. The game was over. There was no need for me to do anything spectacular. It probably wasn't Michael's best sack or tackle for loss. In a different game or situation, I might have made a bigger effort to avoid the sack or TFL, but at no point was I thinking about hurting Gastineau. Maybe it crossed my mind to help Strahan. I didn't think it through. That wasn't my forte at the time. I wanted to have fun and compete. In retrospect, I understand how Gastineau feels. We played a brutal game. Gastineau played during an era where guys didn't make generational wealth. He goes on to talk about how if Gastineau would have been the sack king, he now gets that it would have increased the demand of public speaker and his card and all these financial things. And then he kind of ends it up by saying that Mark belongs in Canton in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, Hamby, like, okay, when you watch that, when you saw that video for the first time between him and Favre,
because I don't know who Gastineau is.
No, for sure.
Right?
Like, and honestly, it's before. I mean, like, I know who he is because, like, I was a fan of the game as a child, and like, it was, it was just before me. But like, I get who he is. I've seen a million of the NFL films featuring Mark Gastineau, NFL Crunch Course, all this stuff. So I get all that, but like, what was like, what did I felt sorry.
Yeah.
Not even like I felt sorry for Mark Gastineau or Brett Favre. I don't know. I just felt sorry for the situation.
Because it was just
so awkward. Yeah, thank you.
It was just awkward.
Yeah.
Part of it to me is like, hey, man, like 22 years ago.
Yeah.
22 years ago. I get maybe you didn't get to, capitalize off of that financially in a way that you wish you could have.
Yeah.
However, 22 years ago, if you care that much, hey, Brett Favre's not that hard to find.
No, for sure, man.
Right? It doesn't take 22 years for you to have a
face-to-face with, you don't got to storm him just because you're doing this ESPN 30 for 30 thing. Like, if it really meant that much to you, I'm sure you probably could have reached out. I feel like you guys run in the similar circles.
Right.
So, like, yeah, maybe it's a little more just drama for the show. And I get Gastineau played in a league at a time that didn't test for steroids and everything. But I always feel a certain type of way when someone feels the need to cheat. And once again, I mean, Hamby, let me ask you this. You think it's really cheating, though, if they weren't testing for steroids when he was playing?
I still think so.
I think so, too, as well. But I can see the other side of it. But, yeah, if you get popped or if you admit to taking steroids, well, dude, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I grew up watching your highlight films and everything, and you're a hell of a player. But that comes out, and it's like, okay, well, guess what? Gonna lower the pedestal a little bit for you.
Right.
And yeah, and maybe you did miss out on some speaking engagements, talking to schools, universities, all this stuff. But once again, if you're gonna give out advice of, hey, how do you become a great NFL player? Well, I hope you don't say stick a needle in your arm and cheat. Because that's in the story.
Right.
That's part of it. I hope they address it in the New York Sack. It's called the New York Sack Exchange, right?
I think so. Yeah.
The 30 for 30. I hope we go down that a little bit. Like, that's a big part of the game. Big part of his career. Don't just bypass it and expect me to feel sorry for you because Brett Favre slid for Michael Strahan. I don't feel sorry. But once again, maybe I don't feel sorry because number one, the steroid thing, but number two, it's a little bit before my time, so I don't really know this guy. I mean, I know him, I don't know him.
Yeah. Look, here's one guy I don't feel sorry for right now.
Brent Martineau.
He's in a great spot. Look at that.
Oh, look at those polar bears getting all cuddly next to you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, we got you.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's windy here in Athens right now, but I want to show you around. Look at the background here. Downtown Athens. What a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Hamby, why didn't you go to school here?
I got in. I just didn't want to pay it.
Really? Is it super expensive here?
Yeah, that out of state.
I mean, out of state
Hamby.
versus in state and bright futures and everything is kind of a,
I
Anyway.
always said I've been to Athens a couple of times, and I say it all the time. Like, if I had seen this place before I went to school in Ohio, I would have not played baseball and just come down here. This place is terrific.
Nice.
Here in Athens. And sent you a little Sanford Stadium earlier. So we got a little look at that. You can walk right into that too, by the way. You can just go take some pictures.
Yep.
I didn't do that, but
Can you go on the field, Brent, you think? Could you hop the fence?
I've done it.
No, you don't have to hop the fence. That's my point. The gates are just open. Like you can go walk in it. Which I feel like some of the places I've been are like that in some of the college towns, which is kind of cool. But yeah, a little chilly day, like 50 degrees. Sun's out though. You still got some fall. See the colors behind us? I mean, look at this. Look at that.
Some nice foliage. Foliage.
Yeah.
Foliage.
Yeah. I mean, how about my last couple of days? Start in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Buckeyes. Go to Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the Vols, and end up right here in Athens, home of the Dogs.
Man, home of a bunch of questionable offenses, Brent. I like it.
Oh my gosh.
Home of a bunch of questionable quarterbacks.
My travels did not take me to SMU or Boise State, by the way.
What are you gonna do? Brent, so like what you gotta explain what happened today. So you're at an Airbnb or some cabin, right? And then checkout time was 10 o'clock?
Yeah, so I didn't know. I thought checkout would be a little bit later, so I'd at least do the first half of the show from there. And then it turns out it was 10 o'clock. So then we're like, all right, well, let's leave early. We'll leave at like 8:15, and we'll try to get to a place where we can do the show. And, we didn't want to go through Atlanta. So we took this Athens route, which was a little bit longer by at least the map. But we were like, well, we'll get stuck in Atlanta at least. And met some great spots, too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I didn't do the show. And I was like, you know what? You guys have at it. Instead of me just trying to figure this thing out, I'll just jump in for a couple minutes from Athens, freaking Georgia. And Gainesville, Georgia, not a bad spot. Like I'd never been there. Great spot. Apple country up there in Georgia. Did not know. We actually stopped. We stopped like 25 minutes into the trip because we were like, hey, this is really cool. There's like a apple cider farm and all this stuff. So it feels like I'm back home up north. Let's go stop in for a couple of minutes. So we bought like apple cider, a little what do we get? Like pepper jelly and some donuts. Buy one, get one free. Apple cider donuts. There you go.
Ooh, that sounds
Bringing
good.
him home to Ty. Put a little weight on him when he gets home from school.
That sounds good. How many boiled peanuts stands have you drove by?
A lot.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't stop by. I'll give you another thing that hit me today. Do you know how many Dollar Generals must exist in the United States? I mean, holy cats. There are a lot of Dollar Generals.
Small town USA, man.
I mean, and not saying anything wrong with it. I'm just saying there are a lot of Dollar Generals that exist. So we got a little bit of that. And Athens is such a good place. I like driving through here. So then we'll hit the road. We'll make it back. We've been listening to the show and got my polar bears right here.
What's up with the Bears?
That's Coca-Cola right there, man.
Oh, is it really?
Probably.
This is just like a little Christmas scene. Oh, that was wet.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Brent, can you confirm, are those like the Coca-Cola bears or they just got some random polar bears hanging out?
I think these are supposed to, well, it doesn't say Coca-Cola on it, but Hamby's right? We're right down the road from Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And so we do see a little bit of that, but this is also like a Christmas scene right here. We got this guy right there.
Who's that guy? Is that the Abominable Snowman? Who is that, Brent? Go back. What is that?
I think that's just another polar bear, but you can stick your face out.
Oh,
okay, so you're gonna go do it, right?
That's haunting. Yeah, let's go do it. Brent, take us in there. Okay, that's a little haunting. That's a little haunting. Hamby, that's a little haunting. I'm sorry. I mean, okay.
Oh, this show.
I mean, it could be a little traumatizing. I feel like, but okay. Polar bears.
We got snowman down there. We could do the same thing, but I guess you get the idea. We don't.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you.
I just saw. Hey, look! Check out this place. Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah.
It's a like a to-go order. You can pick up right there. You can go in too. But check out the Chick-fil-A guy in a Santa suit.
Huh. I see you got a Ben and Jerry's there. I'm sure they're doing great business right now. Middle of winter.
There you go.
Oh yeah, the cow. Man, he's happy to be there. Oh,
Brent, do y'all have lunch plans?
That dude's probably staying warm. Or girl, could be girl. Who knows?
We're to start a new segment on the road.
Brent, what do you do for lunch today?
Let's see. Yes, we just had a burger from the grill, which was really good.
Okay.
Really good. this is open 24 hours, the grill. A little shameless plug.
Yep.
Up here in Athens.
Hamby, tell him to go to that spot you were saying.
Yeah. The ADD drugstore is a drugstore pharmacy with a diner in it. It doesn't even separate. It's just in there with it. It's about as good as it gets for like $6. You can get as much as you want.
Really? I should have asked you that before. I didn't know really where to go. We just said, let's go downtown and just get a bite to eat, since you guys didn't want me on the show earlier.
Whoa, hey, it wasn't we didn't want you on the show, but I'm sorry we had to do an interview that you booked for us to do. Like, hey, don't get an attitude with us. What you should be saying is, thank you.
Yeah,
you got 2 military guys coming in. I don't know what to talk about, but hey, we got the job done. We're all good.
They were great.
They're fantastic. Yeah, they were really good.
They were good. I was listening to the watch party, of course, on Saturday, so everybody can check that out at Everbank Stadium.
Yep.
Hey, you guys were just talking. I thought that was a fantastic topic today, and I know you guys were talking about it, and I was thinking about Mark Gastineau and the Brett Favre thing. And I was like, did Hamby, be honest, had you ever heard of Mark Gastineau?
No, I had never heard of him.
I figured. And it's a little bit even before your time, I would think, Austin, right?
No, it is, but like I obviously I grew up watching like the NFL films videos of him, so I definitely knew who he was.
Yeah, so like Gastineau and like Marty Lyons back in those Jets days and guys like that. I mean, Joe Klecko, right? I mean, that's what I grew up in the mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, those kind of names.
Yeah.
And the Gastineau thing, like when I saw that initially, my first response was like, oh, come on, man, right? I mean, what are we doing? Like, how can it mean that much? My second thought after thinking about it was like, yeah, I guess it kind of does mean that much, right? That's your relationship. That's your name in the game. That's your name for like him, right? He wouldn't know Strahan. He would know Gastineau. So I kind of get it. The other thing I thought about that play, and I don't know how much you guys have talked about this, if you go back and look at that play, which I just always in my mind said, oh, yeah, he gave it up to him, right? He gave up that winning sack.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that he did. Like, I mean, I know he kind of did, but what was he going to do in that spot? You think he was going to avoid that sack?
So, Brent, I kind of spoke on this a little bit. And I don't know, like, I feel like it's common knowledge, but maybe not. There was always like a rumor that circulated that Brett Favre in the huddle told the right tackle to let Strahan go.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, Gastineau didn't really touch on that part, but like if I know that, I'm sure Gastineau knows that, and maybe that's what he was alluding to as well. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think now that you brought that up, I vaguely remember hearing that as well. But just on the play alone, like, why would you like? He's not getting around that sack. But now,
I'm sorry. It was Bubba Franks with the tight end then. So I think he told Bubba to let him go.
Yeah. Well, now that you bring that up,
Look at Bubba. Pat. He's like, hey, you owe me $500 for that, by the way. Watch this. He goes to Brett. Hey, you owe me. You owe me, right? Yeah. I got you.
Why? Hey, why would? I guess deep down, you played the game and all this, and I understand respect for history. I don't understand why Favre would have that much respect for Strahan. Like, I don't get it. I watched those guys battle it out, yes, but I never got the idea that they were good buddies or Strahan of all people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
No, I definitely get it.
Reggie White, right? If he was a former Packer or something like that.
Yeah.
I really don't understand his affinity to give Strahan that sack title. I don't really get that.
So I've never met Strahan personally, but from what I've always heard about Michael Strahan, is he was obviously number one, very well respected, but was also a pretty solid dude. I think he kind of got along with everybody, like in the league, especially back in times when, like it was supposed to just be like your team, that was it. So there might have been just like a mutual respect there, Brent. I have no idea. And once again, like this is just what I heard one time. Like, who's to say it's true or not? But yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you this, just a little funny story about Strahan as you say that, and I don't think you're wrong, by the way, for the most part about his relationships around the league and respect around the league. But we used to cover Giants training camp when I was up in Albany, New York, because they would go to the University at Albany, and that's where they had camp. And so it was a year, I don't know what year, sometime between 2003 and 2008 when I was working up there. And we would cover him a bunch. And it was the year Strahan, I think, had like a contract dispute.
Okay.
Something that pissed him off. I think it's the contract dispute that was going on. And so he wasn't talking to the media. And so my old buddy, my old boss, Rich Becker, he made it a point that year, like during the 5 weeks of camp, to ask Strahan every day if he would talk.
Wow.
Every day. He's like, I want to make him say no every day.
Yeah.
And
Dang.
so he did.
He did.
Well, claim to fame, right? That he was like, okay, well, if he is going to talk, I'm going to get him on the day he's going to talk. And if he's not going to talk, tell me he's not going to talk.
I love it.
It's funny to hear you like see Strahan now, and obviously just to celebrate his career, rightfully so, Super Bowls and stuff. But at that time, I don't think everybody thought that way about him. Just at least in a moment, because there was that.
Interesting.
There was the back pages, right? It was the contract dispute. It was everything else.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
All right. Well, hey, we'll let you guys go. You know, one of the reasons I'm going to let you go, as we show you one more time from downtown Athens here, campus of the University of Georgia, is it's starting to shake probably on the video because my hand's freaking freezing.
How cold is it there?
Only like 48 degrees.
Only 4. That's not bad.
Oh, I know.
Sun's
That's what I'm
out.
saying. It's even cold. Like the sun's out, but it's windy. Like it's actually really windy right now.
I got you.
Hey, one other thing. Remember I was telling you about the snow, and the guy's like, it never snows where we were up there in the Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
Guess what? Woke up this morning to a few snowflakes.
Nice.
Yeah, so saw a little snow this morning.
Okay. Pretty
All right.
productive day from you, Brent.
All right, you guys got 45 minutes or so left to entertain me on my way home. All right?
Yeah, no problem. Any other interviews that you want us to do on your behalf? Or are we good?
Pretty good. Just remember to say Whataburger Wednesday, baby. So Whataburger Wednesday.
Glad you brought that up, Brent. Talking about this Whataburger right here. Yeah, I got you, man. It is Whataburger Wednesday today. I got you.
All right, we'll be at FSCJ tomorrow for the Fortegra High School 912 Invitational. The show will be 10 to 1 tomorrow, and of course Friday at Best Bet St. Augustine. Austen will be in Tampa because he's got a fight, not him, but he's got a corner fight. And speaking of, have you guys talked about that yet, Austen?
No, we haven't talked about that yet, but that would be thank you for producing the show, Brent, because we're running out of ideas. So that's going to be a good next topic for us to talk about a little bit is some MMA news.
All right, good
Awesome,
news.
man. All right, Brent, we'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'll see you on screen tomorrow.
Yes.
Enjoy Athens. It just means more there. Or so they say. I don't know.
Athens.
Athens. Whatever, man. Where are the hedges at?
They are in the stadium.
Okay. So is it like legit hedges? I guess I've never really seen the interior of the stadium before.
Yeah.
I haven't played at Georgia yet in NCAA football, so I don't know yet.
Oh my gosh, you're missing out.
But I mean, are they like legit hedges?
They're legit hedges. All across. All around.
Okay. Hamby, I will say this, 2 things, and I'm critical, right? I'm critical of the SEC. I will say 2 things that I really appreciate about your team. And when I say your team, like the team that you cheer for, because you didn't play there. You didn't even go to school there, but they're your team.
Yep.
1, the fans that sit in the front row at any like big away game or a home game with like the Spikes, like the
Spike Squad.
Oh, Spike Squad?
Yeah.
Call it something better than that, though.
What? It's perfect.
You look mean, you look badass. Don't call it the Spike Squad. Call it something meaner. The Spike Squad?
Yeah.
What are you, volleyball players? Come on.
You said they're the guys with the spikes.
Well,
the spikes
yeah.
in the name.
Yeah, but call them like the Legion of Doom or something. But yeah, they look pretty cool. So I like that. Also, like I always, because like bands, I'm kind of a band geek.
Yep.
So are you.
Yeah.
So like we always say, like Ohio State, best band in the land, all this stuff. I'm pretty sure it's you guys that you always play like something right up. Like so, say for instance, when you're playing Texas, when they broke the huddle, your band would be playing like this super intense music.
Oh yeah.
Up until the point the ball's hiked, and then they gotta stop playing.
Yeah.
That's you guys, right? Yeah. Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's raw.
It's loud as hell, number 1. But number 2, like, it adds a little extra ambiance, man. It's like Gladiator.
No, but Georgia doesn't have real fans. They can't get. They're not.
Didn't say. Did
No,
I ever say?
that's not
Did
you.
I ever
That's not
say
you.
that?
That's not you. That's not you.
Okay. But I'm just saying it is a nice touch with the band. Like, I think there's maybe other schools that do that, but Georgia's like really the only school that I've noticed that actually goes above and beyond where you can like hear it loud as day as the announcers are talking. So that's really cool.
It's a compliment.
So there's 2 compliments for you. Take them how you want.
Appreciate it.
No problem, man. What do I do this? We want to go to break real quick, come back.
Let's do it.
I got some MMA news. We got to do some Duval Daily. What else we got going on, Hamby? Anything else?
Josh Allen's Sounds of the Game was really interesting. We're going to see if we have time for that.
We'll have time for that as well. More next in the Brent and Austen Show.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
Welcome to Everbank Stadium. We call the stadium the bank. Here inside the Jaguars locker room, this is called the vault. The vault is a special place on game days. You can feel the energy and excitement as the Jaguars get ready to take the field. And Everbank has made a way for Jaguars fans to be a part of the action. Each home game, Everbank will select a winner and a guest to be a part of the shadows. Be there up close and personal when the Jaguars leave the vault to take the field. Not only that, the Vault Lounge provides a VIP pregame tailgate experience. High-end food, beverages, music, and more. Want a chance to be part of a VIP experience at a Jaguars game? Enter today at everbank.com/shadows, and you could find yourself in the shadows with the Jaguars. You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Right now, save 10% off a new Rinnai tankless water heater. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. For a limited time, CGC is waiving the trip charge on all related plumbing calls. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years, and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Yeah! Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show. Jason Hamby, way to edit that so people can read what I actually wrote there. Fantastic job on your part. Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show.
You wanted to read the whole thing.
Say what?
Never mind.
No. Bring it back. You want it up there, bring it back. You made the bed. Now we're going to lay in it and marinate for a little bit. Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show. I'm Austen Lane. Jason Hamby pushing some buttons, not necessarily the right buttons, obviously, as you can see from the screen right now. Brent Martineau was on location, checking in from Athens, Georgia. He'll be back in town probably tonight or tomorrow morning, but he'll be back on the show tomorrow. The kids are holding it down while he is away. And yeah, a little bit of an MMA update for me. No, we're back one more time, Hamby, so I can read it.
Nope.
The fans want to read it. The fans want to read it. Go through it all again. The hardship, loss, and all the tough times. Because, I knew I was going to come out other side to tell you that you're going to accomplish great things in this world. His is only the start. A new contract has and signed. There are more goals to each mountains to climb adventure be had. Thing I promise, scissors, ubiesi. There we go. You happy with that, Hamby? Did that go how you wanted it to go?
Unbelievable.
Well, man, what do you want me to tell you?
On Twitter, there's no way for me to get the whole thing in there and also get the whole...
Hamby, you could have went on Twitter. You could have cropped the photo by itself of that update and brought it on the screen. But I don't tell you how to do your job. You know what I'm saying? You're in there, I'm in here.
Unreal.
You make the decisions. But yeah, nevertheless. And by the way, action... So, what? Let's go to the comments real quick before I make an announcement. Action Sports Jax. Where's Brent? I like it. Now, was this somebody is it Stuart or Marcel that usually use a burner and are accidentally logged into the Action Sports Jax?
No, that's Brent.
Oh, I got you. Oh.
Yeah, that's from our official.
Okay. So Brent's just kind of, okay, gotcha. Anyways, man. Yeah, so if you could kind of read through that cryptic message that I have signed a new contract.
Yup.
It is with the UFC.
Yup.
Now, I can't say when I'm going to fight, right? They haven't announced it yet, and the UFC has to announce it before anybody else can announce it. So I can't say when I'm going to fight. I can't say that the month might rhyme with a player that used to be here that made smoothies. I can't say that. I want to say it, but I can't say it. I can't say that once again. My fight's probably going to be in the month where a former Jaguars player might have been offensive lineman, made smoothies, rhymes with him. Yes, I am talking about Bill Brovember. Yes, that is correct, everybody. No, so there'll be an announcement when I'm going to be fighting, where I'll be fighting, who I'll be fighting, and we'll take it from there, man. But I probably can't even say this. Got a new 4-fight deal. So there we go.
How about it?
How about it, man? How about it? Oh, and I didn't even share this story yet either. And Brent doesn't know this one. So, literally the day that I got my contract, this happened right after the show. I can't believe I haven't shared this story yet. So, obviously, I'm signing my contract during the show when Brent's when you and Brent talking about college football, I was, signing my UFC contract because I saw enough animal videos for the day. So I decided, I guess I'll sign the contract now. So I'm signing my contract and everything. You guys are talking about whatever. I finish it. Cool. Show's done. I see a phone call. Jeff Nowitzki. Now, Hamby, you're not going to know the name Jeff Nowitzki, but anybody in the MMA community, any MMA fans, going to know the name Jeff Nowitzki. He is the director. Well, he was the former director of USADA, but he's now the director of the drug testing program. If Jeff Nowitzki calls you, it's not a good thing. So he calls me after the show, and I'm like, okay. So you remember when I exited the you probably weren't.
Oh yeah, no, okay.
Yeah. So I go in the room, and I go, hello, and he goes, Austen, and I can tell right away this isn't a good conversation, because I'm kind of like, yeah, hey, what's up, man? How you doing, Austen? I'm like, oh, what? He goes, how you doing? I go, I'm doing great. How are you doing? So now I'm like. The mental gymnastics in my head, I'm thinking back, well, I haven't been drug tested in a while. The last one I had, I passed. What? there's no way I failed the drug test. What would I have taken? So I'm like nervous now. And he goes, well, I think you know why I'm calling you, right? I go, I guess. What happened? He goes, wait a second. This is Austen Lane, right? I go, yes, sir. He goes, sorry, wrong number. Click. I go, are you kidding me?
Bro.
Are you kidding me, Jeff Nowitzki?
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, so I guess there might be another Austin that I don't know. Or a last name Lane. I don't know what it was. Long story short, had the wrong number. Did I almost have a heart attack? Absolutely. Yeah. Did I immediately go from, a big day in my life, signing a new contract to, oh, and by the way, Austin, you must have failed the drug test you didn't even know about. Yeah, I was at that point, Hamby. Talk about the roller coaster of emotions. But thankfully, I guess they had the wrong guy. But also, double check that stuff, please. Almost gave me a heart attack. But yeah, so that's my story. Anyways, man, what else is going on, Hamby?
So with this new deal, how much of it is a weight lifted off?
Yes.
And as you kind of take a step back and look at your MMA career as a whole,
yeah,
how big of an accomplishment are you allowing this to be?
Sure. So those are great questions. It's funny, man, because you know me, I don't birthdays, contracts, I don't celebrate a lot. A weight has definitely been lifted off my shoulders, right? But I knew what it was going into my last fight, right? Where I'm essentially like a minus whatever 370 or a plus 370 underdog. My opponent was definitely the favorite. And I knew, because, it was told to me, but it was obvious. Whoever won that fight would probably get a new contract. Whoever lost that fight was probably done. So I knew it was at stake. So when I won the fight, and I kind of said my piece and everything, I figured I'd get another contract, but I wasn't 100% sure, right? Because sometimes these things, maybe they don't like you, maybe it's just whatever. It's MMA, but it's like sports entertainment. Right, I had a guy in my corner named Carl Williams, who was one of my cornermen, who went 3-1 as a heavyweight in the UFC. He was 3-1. He lost his last fight, so he was 3-0 going into the fight. Went 3-1 and was cut from the UFC, and never got a new contract because his style was too boring. So it's a lot more than just, oh, you're a good fighter, cool. Well, you got to have something else about you as well, because being a good fighter just isn't enough. In any other sport, I feel like, Hamby, if you're good and you win, you'll be taken care of.
Right.
MMA is different. So if you're asking me, was I worried? I was a little worried, yeah. And then when I found out, obviously the weight has been lifted off my shoulders, but I'm going to say this. My NFL career, I have zero regrets about it because everything that happens for a reason, I believe now. But if I look back on my career and reflect on it, yeah, I was a kid that was at the beach bars way too much. I was the dude, listen, don't get it twisted. I busted my ass in the weight room. I busted my ass in off-season conditioning. But then I go back to think about it, if I would have even spent more time and energy, working on my craft, what could have been, right? And I don't have those conversations a lot, but I'm trying to prove a point here. So I go from, playing football where it's I probably could have done a little more, right? And then I get to MMA and it's the light bulb kind of clicks to me a little bit. It's I'm obviously more mature now in my age. And I've also kind of made it a lifestyle. Football was a game that I played that brought me a lot of joy. But when I got to the NFL, it was still super stressful. And I combated that stress with going to the beach bars and cutting loose. And I think it's important to have that balance. But I don't think I really had a balance. I think I trained really, 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 really hard. And I always gave it my all on the field. But I also decompressed really, 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 really hard at the beach bars. And I think when you're young and you're a little naive, you can get away with that. Man, I'm in my 30s now. Hell, I'm going to be going to my 40s now in a couple years. I can't get away with that anymore. So I don't want it to come across the wrong way, but it's almost like the NFL was the stepping stone for me to realize how to navigate a professional sport, how to take care of yourself, not only mentally and physically. And that's what I've done now with MMA. And trust me, I don't have it all figured out, obviously. It's a never-ending journey. You're always learning new things about yourself and about your craft. But I'm much more confident now with who I am as a person and as an athlete doing MMA than I was playing football. And I think that second contract, to bring it full circle, is kind of the result of that. Because once again, my back was against the wall, right? Listen, I've been in those preseason games in Chicago where it's like, I better have a 3 or 4 sack game or my ass is getting cut. Spoiler alert, I didn't. I got cut. I guess what I'm saying is I'm proud because I knew it was at stake here. Like, it's like my final preseason game and like everything's on the line. Mm-hmm. And finally, your boy figured it out and got that 4 sack game. He got the decision against the guy who everyone said was going to beat him. And now he gets a new contract. So there you go.
Yeah, one more question on this is always, you talk about how your cornerman, right?
Yeah.
As a heavyweight, was 3-1, yet maybe the style didn't fit. It wasn't entertaining enough. I'm guessing he wrestled. What, did he wrestle too much? Did he
wrestle too much? Yeah. So he was a former football player at Georgia State and also wrestled at Georgia State. His name is Carl Williams. Salt of the earth dude. One of the best dudes you're ever going to meet.
So this is my thing. My question is, when you're preparing for fights now, there's a difference between what your best shot to win is.
Yeah.
Your game plan for best shot to win.
Yeah.
And only care about win.
Yeah.
And there's what's going to be the most entertaining.
Correct.
How in the world do you? Because I'm sure.
How do you manage it?
Look, it's obvious to anybody who watches UFC. If they want the most entertaining thing is for the heavyweights, really for everybody, is to stand up and throw absolute haymakers the entire time and that's it.
Correct.
The Max Holloway when there's pointing that was the most entertaining 10 seconds of the year.
Of course.
Right? Because and not to say that wrestling and grappling and all of that stuff is not entertaining.
No, without a doubt.
But for some UFC fans, for the guys who are really in it, that might be more entertaining.
Yes.
Right? Because they understand the skill. They understand. But for the amateur fan, it's just not. Right?
So
how do you balance that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And listen, Hamby, my answer isn't going to be the same as anybody else's answer because every fighter is different. My philosophy is this. I was lucky to, when I started this whole journey, I started striking first. Right? I didn't wrestle in high school. I did jiu-jitsu eventually, but I started boxing. I started doing kickboxing. And, playing in the NFL, which is such a violent game, you're used to kind of those collisions a little bit and kind of being in the chaos, if you will. Mm-hmm. So I always embrace more the stand-up and the striking. And then if you look at my record, that's why I have a lot of KOs. And that helps. Right now, my last fight, I had to change it up a little bit because, I'm a good striker. I didn't go to the Olympics for Taekwondo, though, like my opponent did, right? So I wasn't naive. I put my ego aside and said, okay, well, he's probably got the advantage a little bit when it comes to kicks and maybe even punching a little bit. So we had the game plan. I followed through. I'm going to UFC Tampa this weekend. The main event of that card, there's a guy by the name of Colby Covington.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people know who he is. Now, do you know him by his style and his exciting fights? Absolutely not, because all he does is try to wrestle you and take you down. But you know him because he's an avid Trump supporter. He's a very outspoken dude, almost to the point where, it's kind of an act because, well, maybe when you're not the most exciting fighter, you need something to fall back on. And that's trying to trigger a whole subsection of a political environment where they'll lash out at you and say things to you on social media. And then it's also gathering, the Trump fans where it's we're going to pedestal this guy because this is the guy right here. There's a lot of fighters, Conor McGregor is a classic example of this, who they bring the gift of showmanship. And listen, when I plotted out my MMA career, it always dawned on me, should I take that road? Because, listen, man, I can talk on the radio. I have a pretty good, gift of gab. I can make up stuff on the spot. I can talk. I can sell something. I'm not scared to be in front of the microphone and to be in front of the crowd. What I'm scared of is losing myself in that process. Because you look at Conor McGregor. I idolized Conor McGregor when he was coming up, man. Like that guy, like if you're an MMA fan, like either you hated Conor McGregor or you liked him, but you had to respect him because this guy would say such outlandish things and speak it into existence, and then guess what? Back it up.
Right.
That's one of the hardest things to do as a fighter. Say, I'm going to go out here, knock you out, yada, 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 do something about it, and then actually follow through with it. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, the downfall of that Hamby is bad.
Right.
Right? So we see Conor McGregor, the biggest name, made the most money ever. What's he doing now? What's he doing now? What has he been charged with now? How many times is he in the news for all the wrong reasons? So, like, I see that, and it's almost like a drug, man. And it's almost like, I find, because listen, I've met a lot of fighters, and some, like, for instance, Nate Diaz. You know the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
I celebrate them because that's who they are. They're not trying to put on some act, some facade. Like, they're from the rough streets of Stockton, California, and they'll let you know about it. And then you have like your Colby Covingtons, who it's more of just, it's contrived, it's an act. But guess what, man? It gets you main events. It gets you money. So I'm not going to fault you for that. But the way I look at it as this, if I come out on the microphone, I get a knockout, or even if I just wrestled for 15 minutes, it's a boring fight, but I get on the microphone and I start getting all political, or I start calling somebody out, or I start calling somebody's wife out, or I start cutting this promo with all this language. Okay, in that moment, my stock's going to be up, but it's going to follow me the rest of my life. And I don't want that. I got a 9-year-old man who watches everything that I do and say, so I got to be careful. So if I'm trying to preach to my son, hey, always be respectful. You always work hard. You always be empathetic to those people that deserve it. If someone does you wrong, then don't give them the time of day. But until that time, you show people respect. Well, if dad's in front of the world on the microphone after a fight saying, bleep you, bleep this, middle fingers, I'm not setting a good example. So maybe I'm not going to ever get the $1 million Conor McGregor fight, because maybe sometimes my fights won't get retweeted. Maybe sometimes my sound bites won't get retweeted, and maybe I'll never be in that echelon. But dude, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. What I can't live with is putting on a facade, right, trying to be an actor, and then one day when it's all said and done, I got to look back at it and say, yeah, well, you know what, son? Dad was just trying to make some more money. No, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can't say it much better than that.
Yeah. What would you do? Hey, would you try to stay true? Would you try to... I mean, because I get it. It's a drug. Yeah. It's social media. Like, listen, there's people out there that make millions off social media just by tweeting controversial things. I get it. What would you do in this situation? Would you try to push the envelope?
I mean, I don't think...
Because I feel like we're kind of cut from the same cloth, you and I.
It's not my personality to want to go outside of who I am. I've even already. I mean, it's on a much diminished stage. That's to say the least.
Yeah.
But there's even been opportunities for little things here and there. I mean, everybody has those where they can extend outside of themselves to even get a laugh.
Of course.
Or, those are the smallest areas.
Even in sports radio, Hamby. Like, how many people are on ESPN? It's shock. It's shock and awe.
I'm trying to get those headlines and everything.
And, dude, you work in 22 hours a day sometimes. You're going on 0 hours of sleep. You think the last thing you want to do is, oh, by the way, you got any more energy left? You know why? Because now you have to take on this new persona that's not even you, but you have to take that energy and put it into that persona.
100%.
Exhausting, man.
I'm good.
Exhausting.
I'll take the slightly slower ride up.
Hey, you know what, man? I think you and I think we're both good, bro. We're going to take the slow ride up, stay true to ourselves, and we'll see you at the top eventually.
That's it.
Meanwhile, Brent Martineau rocking a Joe Burrow outfit next year. I can't wait for that.
Hey, we're going to be right back. When we come back, real quick, Josh Allen, you got to hear it.
Yep.
What he had to say in front of the Tennessee game, and a little Duval Daily.
Let's get it.
Here we go.
If you need a quality play this football season at your home, call That One Painter First Coast. Locally owned and operated, experienced employees, no builder-grade materials. And there's more, and for that, we throw it to Noah Schlicksup. That One Painter First Coast can apparently help your kicking game, too.
Well, after my failure on skinny sticks last year on Creekside game day, I've spent a lot of time out here at Creekside practicing my kicks. There's only one issue. How is that even possible? The good news is I know exactly who can help. That One Painter can handle all your painting needs, from field goal posts to cabinets to stucco. They got you covered. Though they may not be able to help with my kicking, they can certainly help with the posts. Call That One Painter First Coast today for all your painting needs at 904-495-1373.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jags 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt. And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning, 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jags Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service. A meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jags 24/7 network.
First day I got in this. First day, these boys said we don't like Tennessee. Yup. We don't like Tennessee, and they don't like us. Nope. So this is a rivalry game. Y'all knows what the it is. Y'all know what the it is. Let's go, now.
New contract. New contract for Josh Allen. Sorry, Josh Hines Allen right now. New contract. Lifetime contract. Circle of Pride, the Circle of Pride, whatever. I'm so pumped up watching that. I forgot what it's called. The Pride. Do it now. Shad Khan, new contract immediately. Jane Jones, new contract right now. Has it?
He gets.
Hang on. I'm on Google. Nope. I just no, hasn't happened. Hey, Shad Khan, new contract right now. Googling it again. Nope, not yet.
Oh wow.
What are we waiting for, man? What are we waiting for? Lifetime contracts right now. Hamby, your thoughts? Listen, like that's what I called for.
That's what we wanted against Houston.
And I was questioning, like, are we gonna see it? 'Cause I'm not gonna lie. And Brent alluded to this. The whole build up to that game. We're talking about it Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, the guys in the locker room seem a little worn down, seem a little tired. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you playing the Tennessee Titans who took you out of the playoffs last year or not? Are you? Okay, then. Josh Allen reaffirmed that they were indeed playing the Titans. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, that was real. That wasn't AI, right? Like, that wasn't an AI. Yep.
No AI.
Still new contract. I don't know what we're doing. Walker Little got one. Give him a lifetime contract. Let's go.
If only the halftime of the Houston game would have looked like that.
Yeah.
We win the football game.
I mean, sometimes just need a little energy, Hamby, right? Sometimes you need a little energy. You know what's got energy?
Duval Daily.
Oh, my man. What do you got for us?
Oh, no. Where are we at?
I set him up, but he can't even deliver. I literally, John Stockton layup, call him alone. Go and dunk it. You go, nah, we're all good.
The button didn't work this time. Sometimes.
Hey, man. You gonna play it or not? There it is.
I'm talking about a little place called with Brent Martineau.
All right, Hamby, before we get started, let me just say this. This show's gone surprisingly smooth. You've done a great job. That little mix-up right there could cost us in the end. Let's redeem ourselves with some buttons. You ready to go? Is your mic not working now? Are you ready to go, Hamby?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's go then, man. All right, here we go. In the arms of an angel. Hey, Sam McLaughlin, kick rocks and take your sad puppy videos someplace else because the only angels we're concerned about are blue. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Call Kenny Loggins because we're taking it to the danger zone. The Blue Angels will return back to Jacksonville Beach in 2025. Hit it, Hamby. Okay, we're back. The show will be October 25th and 26th. Pumpkin spice season just got a little more manly, a little more testosterone. Donna Deegan announced that the Sea and Air Show will bring families and neighbors together, an experience of unforgettable display of teamwork and skill. Hit it again, Hamby. You excited for that?
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
This has been the Duval Daily. Hamby, you excited for the Blue Angels to come to town?
Yeah. I'm in there.
Hey, have you ever seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. So it was my first experience last year. Well, I guess this year, right? Yeah, this year was my first experience with them. And let me start off by saying it did not disappoint. Now, the 2-hour pre-show of like the small drones and the airplanes, it's fine, whatever. But when you get, I don't know, it must have been a baker's dozen of those Blue Angels flying around at top speeds, blurring out your eardrums, thinking they're going to pop. Yeah, man.
I'm in there.
Feels good to be an American sometimes, don't it?
It does.
You better believe it, man. So if you haven't seen it, October 25th, 26th, hey, Blue Angels, cut the check. But definitely check it out, especially if you're by the beach. It's a really cool spot to see. So check that out. That was a Duval Daily. Hamby, anything else before we wrap up here?
We got about a minute left. I think we got to everything.
I think we got through everything. We kept the car on the road for the most part. For Brent Martineau, who, I don't know, hanging out with some polar bears, I guess, still in Athens, Georgia. For Jason Hamby, pushing all the right buttons. I'll see you all tomorrow live from Tampa Bay, as I'll be there for the UFC event. I'm Austen Lane. Stay casual. Stay safe. We'll catch you out tomorrow. Peace.